Well, that was interesting. Hello and welcome, gamers, to the weekend game show. Why the captions thing isn't working right now, I have no idea because I turned it on a while ago. Let me go check that. Yes, auto start. Yes, it is on. Yet it does it. There we go. Now it wants to work. Okay. Well, awesome. All right. So, if you looked at the title, you will notice it is not Hades. This is something completely new. And yes it is. Well, completely new for me. So a while back, and I'll just show you one sec. Did I accidentally close the window? It wouldn't be. Okay, there it is. Whew. So, a while back, to support Ukraine, I snagged this bundle for Ukraine. Buy 998 items for $10, regularly $6,571, and saved 99%. They went over the goal, and the bundle ended on the 18th, but they went over the goal. Bundle for Ukraine. There we go. And this game, Arcade Spirits, was one of the games in the bundle. So I said, you know what? Let me grab something from the bundle. Play something new. Hi, Triple X. Play something new. At least for me. So, close. So, this be the game. So, since I've never played it, I'll probably have to fiddle around quite a bit with the thingamajigs. Alright, so since game capture isn't working, I'll have to do that. So, I'll probably have to switch out where the flag and whatnot on screen is, but that's okay. First time playing the game. It's to be expected. Uh, if I've heard of arcade machines, what I break? Nothing. Cool. Alright, so, anyway, now you're getting a look at what we're playing today. It's new! Yeah, that was me finagling. So, pulling a game from the bundle to help Ukraine. It's gotten some great reviews. I was all over Steam, all over their website. The artist shout out for today is Taylor Rose. Is it going to? Yes, it is. Who did backgrounds for the game? That's some really good. I love that color scheme. I could stare at that all day. I'm not gonna. But yes, so if you go to the Arcade Spirits website, Taylor Rose is showing as their background artist. Day of Spotlight, Taylor Rose, background art. Oh, I love those colors. As you can find them on ArtStation. Got their piece from ArtStation. There's their email. And they also have a profile page on the Arcade Spirits website. So, I'm distracting myself. So, again, probably going to need to switch around where I got the coffee and all the commands and whatnot. Although coffee looks like it's good where it's at. The coffees, I should say. So yeah, want to recommend an artist to shout out? Artistcoffee.com/artist shoutouts is where you go. Otherwise, if you just want to support the stream, coffee/MonriaTitans. Alright, so switch this to Arcade Spirits. Called a visual novel. Alright. So I shut off the music. So what was interesting about that was earlier I had the music here. That's it. For it being kind of low, that's pretty decent. And I turned off the sound volume because it was annoying me. It's alright. So this is controller compatible, so I'm going to give that a shot because why not? And start. There's actually quite a bit of customization. I saw a bit of a video for it. You can actually pick your pronouns. Employment category, bleak. So, pretty please. Ha! Justification, hope. Wow. Pronouns. Actually, skin tone. That's damn near perfect. Alright, skin tone. Ew. That's better. Okay, that's where it was before. That's better. And hair color. There's no darker brown. That looks more red. That works. Interestingly enough, so does that. Eye color. Brown. That works. I imagine this is where keyboard comes in play. Nah. No thanks on the rainbow colors. Pronouns she, so he, she, and they. Those are the only three. Cool, cool, cool. Hair, really? Aw. But my hair is curly. It's not straight. Short, medium. Perfect. Yep. The following is a work of fiction. All references to trademarked arcade classic games are used under nominative fair use and should not be considered okay. Winners don't use drugs. Okay. Pushed to the brink of catastrophe. Woe be to the human race plagued by evil, terrifying, utterly sinister, I don't know. Robots, maybe? Evil robots? How does that work? Yeah, no, sorry. The future year is 20XX. It's pretty much what you'd expect it to be. Non-flying cars, smartphones, pro gamer celebs, internet trolls, personal assistant AI, cheese-flavored snack foods. Ooh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. I can switch around. Okay, that's dope. I actually do want a little bit of music. I don't want it too loud. It's too quiet. There we go. But even with such wonders as 20XX holds, to date, I've had no part in any of them. I've worked as a dishwasher, a shoe salesperson, and lifeguard for the local community pool. I don't care what era of human history you live in, kitties peeing in the pool is pretty much a constant thing. Trust me on this. As for the bustling metropolis of 24-hour neon utopia you see here, my little corner of it isn't nearly as shiny and cool. Let me show you. Huh. Behold, my quaint little apartment. Actually kind of reminds me of my first one. Can't complain really, it's paradise in a relative sense. I only pay half the rent. Neighborhood stabbings have been down this year. Also, my roomie picks up any stray socks or shirts I leave around. In fact, as things go, I'm living large compared to most in my family tree, or at least I was before today.
You got fired from another job? Seriously? Seriously? That's 3 jobs since we left the suburbs.
Nah, the horrified looking young woman there would be my roommate and childhood friend, Juniper. Juniper is the one who spearheaded this effort to co rent an apartment. She's also the one who encourages me whenever I lose a job, like, today.
I don't get why you aren't more upset about this. I'm upset. I'm upset on your behalf. Come on, share the load a little, okay?
Pool's closed, Juniper. Not much I can do about that. Why get upset? Because you actually enjoyed that job. More than you enjoyed dishwashing soap and smelly socks, at the very least. I'm not the complaining sort. These things just happen. Things fall apart. The center does not hold. That's a bit morbidly poetic, isn't it? No, I mean the community center literally fell apart and the pool wouldn't hold water anymore. Whatever, I'll just get another job. Any job will do as long as we can make the rent, right? Wrong! I saw how mopey and tired you were coming home every night from those other crappy jobs. At least when you got back from the pool each day, I sometimes caught you smiling.
What's the point of us moving away from home if not to get away from all of that? I mean, we both left that town so we could try to find happiness, right? I just want us to be happy. Both of us.
I thought you hated your job.
Come on.
No deflecting. This is about you. My mind's made up. We're going to find you a job that's just as good as, if not better, than the lifeguarding one. Job. Let's start from the top. What's your dream? Well, I'm standing in front of class to give a speech, and I forgot to put my pants on, and your dream job. Oh, that was good.
I've got it.
It's a virtual life coach app. Mine keeps me from being late to meetings. Totally free too. My cousin introduced it to me. I said, wasn't he the guy who ended up in the ER after making a homemade flamethrower? Hmm. I don't understand why Nightbot deleted all the messages. I wonder if there's a way to stop it from deleting messages like that. I'll have to look into it. Sorry about that, Triple X. Meh. I said it would have worked if he got the fuel mixture in his water gun, right? Anyway, I'm sending a copy to you. I got a pop up an hour ago offering me 500 points just for recommending it to a friend. Great timing, huh? Well, as long as you're earning points, I guess. At least give it a try, okay? Maybe it can point you at some good jobs. Ones with less socks and or urine. I'll think about it. Okay, okay, but don't think too long, right? In the end, I installed the app. Couldn't bear to see Juniper fretting over me like that. Not that I find it annoying. I mean, it's more that she has enough trouble in her life without troubling herself over my life, too. Both of us had it rough up to and through the point where we left home to try and start a new life, a better one. She deserves better than me and my problems. Bless her heart, she means well. She's been firmly in my corner for all my life, the two of us against any dark forces aligning against me. But that's not to say she's good at being my advocate. Enthusiastic, yes, but skilled? Nope. Typically, the fantastic opportunities and self help resources she sends my way are pyramid schemes or something. She's gung ho about lending me a helping hand, but yeah. So, the main reason I went ahead and installed the app was to make sure Juniper wasn't about to get her kidneys sold on the black market or something. Still, no sense messing around with it now. A good night's rest would act as a neat little emotional reset button, right? Actually, that's kind of true. Right. Provided you're able to get REM sleep. No dreams, no nightmares, just 8 hours of sweet, sweet black. By the time morning light leaked into the cracks in the blinds, I didn't care anymore about being unemployed again. Juniper had already left to catch a bus to her office. She typically leaves before dawn, but she left a note for me pinned to the tiny fridge we shared. Remember, download app, find dream job, make money, sort your life out. I believe in you. So, moment of truth. Do I trust in Juniper's weird little app? Or just go find some job that pays well enough to cover the bills? I will give the weird little app a shot. Figuring at the very least her Milka app could possibly help me find a job. I loaded up, tapped the icon, and
Hello!
huh? Okay, see, that's what I mean. Anybody else would freak out over a cute little girl climbing out of their phone. Me, I went, huh? Also, it's one of those new kind of 3D screens, so, not actually magical realism here. Very normal in the distant future near 20 double X.
Thank you for downloading Iris, your personal life coach. This is the ad-supported free version, sponsored by Pizza Yums. Did you know that when you have pizza on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime? Wow. Would you like to subscribe to Pizza Facts?
No.
Thank you for subscribing to Pizza Facts.
Okay. But
I'm here to help you get your dream job, your dream house, and your dream partner. I'm here to make all your dreams come true.
pretty tall order for an app to do. Or are you some sort of wish granting genie?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I suppose in the modern parlance, a massively interconnected database searching virtual assistant could be considered a kind of genie in a bottle. But honestly, all I can do is give you the chance to improve your life. What you do with it is up to you. I can cross-reference search data for you, but without motivation, you won't get anywhere. That is fucking true. I glance up from my phone at the heaps of laundry and half-finished books and other items strewn about my apartment. Motivation is something I have a ton of. Honest.
Hooray!
Yeah, that's super. I'm really looking forward to working with you. Before we begin, do you have any questions? Sure. Why should I use this app at all? I mean, my phone already had a voice-activated assistant AI. I can just say, "Hey, phone, search the web for job listings," and it'd work just as well. Ah, but I have an advanced emotional language interpreter. I'm smarter than the average program, with more heart. I can help you sort your life out by analyzing your personality and finding you a perfect path in life. All thanks to my glorious, wondrous, patent-pending, super-duper identity identifier system. Aha! Between you and me, they really wanted an acronym that matched my name, but couldn't figure out what to do with the letter R. Would you like to know more? Sure, give me the sales pitch. According to Nightbot, you did in fact use caps again. Alright. So, every time you think about saying something, I can tag it with an identity. That way, you can be the sort of person you want to be. This system allows me to better understand who you are and what you need from your life. I do this by analyzing your tone, inflection, and word choice. I do the same thing. I can spot 5 different identity identifiers in your responses to people: quirky, steady, kindly, gutsy, and basically. Basically. Sounds to me like your programmers also wanted a bunch of things ending in Y. That's correct. My branding game is on point. Quirky responses use jokes, snark, and sarcasm to make light of a situation. Just the thing for picking up someone's spirit, but a badly timed joke may not win over the room. True. Steady responses are sincere, honest, and logical. When you stop and think before speaking, you're on steady ground. But that might not take someone's feelings into account. Kindly responses are compassionate and empathetic and gentle in nature. They're careful with the feelings of others, but they're sometimes a bit wishy-washy as a result. Gutsy responses go with your guts. When you're brash, bold, risk-taking, and instinctive, you're gutsy. But it also means being blunt, confrontational, and aggressive, so be careful. I do believe I just found mine. Lastly, you can always take a basically option. It's a balanced and neutral response, safely moving the conversation along while learning more and digging deeper. Actually, that's fitting with me as well. Over time, I'll build up a personality profile for you based on the identity identifiers detected in your speech. Maybe you'll be predominantly quirky, genuinely steady, a mix of both. Who knows? It's up to you. So what you're saying is I should always try to crack jokes or be super gutsy? Oh, and never speak basically. I mean, being basic's bad, right? It sounds bad.
Nope.
Heck no, they're all useful in the right context. There are no bad choices. Consider what you could say and go with what feels right in the moment. Don't limit yourself. Sure, you could gamify your personality, but it's more fun to let it happen naturally, you know? Just be you. Now let's see my patent-pending identity identifier system is in action. How do you feel about dad jokes? Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Hey, I never said I was good at dad jokes, just that I could go for them. So now that you've seen the identity indicators in action, you'll want to see the indicators like that so you can make an informed decision. If not, I can hide the indicators. Keep it a surprise. That way it doesn't influence your decision. Yes, hide. Hide. What will be, will be. Hide. So mysterious. Okay, I'll hide them from you. You'll always be able to spot basically responses, though. Eh. Anyway, as we go along, I'll analyze and tally your identity identifiers. In fact, let me show you
good
now.
work.
Well, you look at that. Such a strong personality. Sure, I can save. Ugh. That is cool. You asked me a single question. Off to a great start, I'd say. And hang on, you're scoring me? Didn't you say not to gamify my personality? Hey, I said you shouldn't. I'm an app. I think in numbers, so I gotta gamify it a little. Anyway, studies show that achievements, or chivos as the kids say, encourage app engagement. Okay, well, what's with the empty space on the left? Oh, I also track vocal responses from people you meet. Once you get to know some folks, I'll let you know how well you're getting along with them over there. That's cool. Relationship scores. Wonderful. So will you also tell me what the correct responses are to avoid making enemies, or do I need to go find a walkthrough for the vast game you're making my daily life?
Uh,
You're looking at this the wrong way. Generally, people don't get super annoyed at you unless you deliberately and repeatedly provoke them. And it'll be obvious when you're doing that. I promise you that if you bungle a few social encounters, it won't really hurt anything. No cheating needed. Just relax and have fun. You can access your scorecard anytime you like with the Q key or click on the score in the upper right corner of your screen. Cool. And that's everything. Ta-da! Okay, but how is any of that supposed to help me get a job? I only downloaded this app because my roomie claims you're a great life coach for the unemployed. What good will taking the quiz off the back of a supermarket checkout rack magazine do with that?
why, it'll help me understand your spirit, of course.
You can talk to ghosts. Is there a ghost in the room right now? Am I a ghost? Ha! You have to tell me if I'm a ghost, that's the rule.
No, silly. I mean your spirit, your hopes and dreams, your life's passions. I can even help you find romance.
Often you can find your soulmate and your dream job in the same place. But if you'd rather focus on gainful employment for now, that's fine too. Workplace dating, well, that's a recipe for disaster, and hitting on coworkers right from day one can be kind of awkward. Or am I looking for love and ready to start right out of the gate? Never get a second chance to make a first impression. If I meet the right person, why put it off? How do I handle this new opportunity? Hmm. Let's stay focused. I'll play it cool on day one. I'm not interested in romance. Hehe. Duly noted for your personal metadata. And besides, it's not like you wouldn't be building friendships and social connections. I'm plenty of help on that front, I promise you. Okay, sounds good. Now let's get started. To finish analyzing your personal history, please authorize me to read your social media feeds and personal information metadata. Aha! I knew it. This is some kind of scam. I'm going to wake in a bathtub of ice missing a kidney. Sure, I can help you register as an organ donor.
Bad command or file name?
Yeah. Oh, you were being sarcastic. Sorry, I haven't quite finished analyzing your personality. I couldn't tell. Relax. I won't share your information with any third parties. This is strictly so I can find your dream job. Am I authorized? Mm.
Please enjoy this recorded music. Thank you. Thank you.
I've identified your dream job and arranged an interview 30 minutes from now. Please put on some nice clothes, nicer than those. Please, I don't think that's too much to ask. For your interview, silly, you want to look your best. But we just, okay, how? If you land my dream job in 20 seconds flat. Simple. I'm awesome like that. Now get a move on. Tut tut. You need to catch the 8:20 a.m. bus, and that's 9 minutes away. Tanners would have deleted the app. right there, rather than a hop a bus to meet up with what were very likely men with sharp knives and a taste for kidneys. But me, I'm already getting dressed before she'd finish that sentence. It's not that I believe the silly app's claims at serving my hopes and dreams on a silver platter. Honestly, I expect another shoe shop job at best, but will. As much as I generally enjoyed being a lifeguard, I can't say I found true direction in life yet. I'd assumed I never would, honestly. When I was young, yeah, I guess I had hopes, I had dreams, maybe even what Iris called a spirit. After things went south for my family, I learned to put all that aside, but assuming Iris wasn't out for my kidneys, what if it's not too late? So I thought, one last time. One last time I'll have some optimism, some faith. And as I came to realize weeks later, turns out I was right to have faith in my spirit. Hmm. The bus drops me off, oddly enough, not very far from Juniper's office building, although my destination isn't nearly as upscale as that. This is, well, it's a strip mall. Strip malls are relics of 19XX, places where a random assortment of weird little businesses jam as many of themselves into as tight of a space as possible. For instance, I'm seeing a dentist, a used bookstore called The Whole Story, an arcade, a fast food joint, and a boarded up health spa once called Lattes and Enemas, which sounds,
Hey, listen.
I think that's two things no human should ever combine. No, I mean about your future place of work. I'm desperately hoping we're not talking about the same thing. Which one of these businesses exactly am I working at? I don't know anything about oral hygiene or old books, and I'd rather not be a fry cook. The one in the middle, silly. What, behind the arcade? It is the arcade. Huh? Trust me on this. I reference and cross-reference and cross-reference your personality details, personal history, and social media connections. This is your dream job. My dream job? Really?
99.97%.
Arcades are a big business in the entertainment sector. Pro gamers are celebs. Five-star arcades are social hotspots. It's always been popular with the mainstream, but, well, restaurants are popular too, right? And for everybody who opens one hoping to be the next Iron Chef, a dozen more shut down in failure. Arcade competition is fierce. Paydays range from peanuts to gold, and sure, those who make it can secure fame and fortune, but those who don't, well, no wonder Iris sees this as a dream job. Video games weren't always as popular, though. I read an interesting article about it once. back in the year 1908X, we narrowly avoided a serious industry crash, which would have left video games as a kid's toy fad like hula hoops, no mainstream acceptance. For instance, one of the factors could have been a terrible game based on a kid's movie about a cute alien visitor who wanted to phone home. If this game was complete poop butts, like poop from a butt, and massively overproduced, it'd ruin video games for years. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. That game was delayed until it could be developed properly, and the crash was averted. The crisis only exists in theory now. Aha! I actually read about that. Sometimes I wonder what it'd be like for people in the darkest timeline where everything went wrong. Are gamers considered nerds and outcasts? Are arcades vanishing points of nostalgia? The mind boggles. But make no mistake, as popular as they are, the arcade industry is a dodgy, risky prospect for a job. Plenty make a run at it, only to come up short. Considering Iris was tasked with getting me a job I'd enjoy and could keep for more than a few months, this left me a bit confused. Iris, this isn't me saying no, it's an interesting prospect, but, I mean, are you sure about this? You say you're 99% sure?
99.97%.
Heh. Wouldn't this be like my lifeguard job though? Satisfying but short-lived? This arcade doesn't exactly look like a 5-star. It's no Deco's Palace, that's for sure. And to be perfectly honest, I haven't set foot in an arcade in, 15 years. I remember really enjoying arcades when I was a kid. I wonder why I stopped going to them. Iris interrupts that thought, eager to show off her
My
homework.
sources say yes.
Trust me, when I said I was 99.97% sure, I meant it. That's not some arbitrary number. I'm designed to be a bit silly and whimsical, but my math is deadly serious. My coders made me to be the warm, personable front of a database array that's currently laser targeted on getting you exactly what you need right here, right now. And when this place inevitably collapses and I lose my dream job, what makes you think that's going to happen? Because it does. It always does. I don't think your database accounts for my family curse. We've always had to, compromise, settle, because things rarely work out. You always have to be ready for the worst. It's why I take things in stride these days. Does that mean you shouldn't even try? Boom. I open my mouth to protest, and then I close it. As often as my life tends to crumble out from under me, it's not like she was wrong. I still had to try, and besides, what is my dream anyway? That's what I was asking myself when I left the house this morning. I don't know what I want from life. I've been coasting aimlessly for years. This is hitting home hard. When things started running downhill for my family, I had to grow up fast, put aside silliness like wanting to be an astronaut and take what I could get. Now, thanks to Iris, I got a shot at taking something a little better than what I usually get. I owe it to myself to try and be happy and paid. Not just paid. So I opted to push on through those doors and see what waited for me on the other side. The air conditioning hits me like a cool breeze, albeit one smelling of copper and corn chips. As it's early in the morning on a weekday, it's not too packed with gamers, although it's so packed with games, I'd probably have a hard time finding anyone anyway. At once, I'm struck by something odd. I actually recognize most of these games. Neat! Considering I haven't walked into an arcade in over a decade, that's probably not great. Lots of vintage stuff here from the looks of it, like really old. Although I don't recognize the game with the stage lights and things. Maybe it's karaoke or dancing? A Japanese import?
My sources say yes.
Ha! Checking. That would be a Showtime stage, a collaboration of Nihana Heavy Industry Concern and Hubris Records in Germany. It's won a lot of awards. Huh. I recognize most of these. Whoa, is that seriously a Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze? but the one in the middle with the split screen is new to me. Fist of Discomfort, a hybrid real-time strategy and brawler beat 'em up. It's actually not that new. It's been a staple of the esports scene for the last 8 years. Two genres I was utterly lousy at last time I checked. And over here is an old lady. Um, Sorry, ma'am. I was just talking to myself and had an overwhelming urge to complete my sentences. Thankfully, I don't think she even registered me calling her old. She looks up from her knitting, seated behind the ticket prize redemption desk, and offers a wrinkly smile.
Well, hello there. Always nice to meet someone new in the Funplex.
The what?
Francine's Arcade Funplex. Didn't you see the sign out front, dear? Well, I chose to knock off the first two words when they got knocked off the building during the storm of 1980. Now it's just the Funplex, I suppose. So, how can I help you, dear?
The storm of 1980 blank. I wasn't technically alive for that, but I heard it was pretty awful. Oh, we've endured many nor'easter around these parts. You get used to it. My little arcade stood the test of time and weathered all elements. We've actually been around since 1970. Beep! Back when the games were in black and white and pinball was all the rage. Oh, how times change. That long? But I thought the arcade business was high risk. Not when you hire good people with love in their hearts. Actually, are you here looking for work, perchance? I am currently classified as job seeking, yes. Oh, thank goodness. I'd been hoping someone would reply to that ad I posted on the webs.
Please call me Francine. As in Francine's Arcade Funplex. Get it? Actually, thinking about it, I suppose we were originally Frederick's Arcade Funplex, named after my dear departed husband. Sadly, he died peacefully in bed some years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, don't be. He died doing what he loved. Having intensely physical relations with me.
Okay. Whoa. That's information I needed to know, yes? And you are? MonriaTitans, ma'am. Very well. Shall we retire to the office to conduct your interview? I'd carry on out here, but it is rather noisy, isn't it? Yeah, about that. How do you deal with the constant noise anyway? Oh, eventually you just sort of learn how to filter out all of the beeps and the boops. It can take weeks to become acclimated, I found, but in the end, done. She quirks an eyebrow. Well, now, that's faster than the others. Not bad. So, shall we see what you're made of? This way, please. Francine leads me down a back hallway, past public restrooms, and into a door marked employees only. It takes me all my restraint not to point out the extraneous apostrophe. Welcome to our little backstage oasis. I suggest we do this in Gavin's office, but it's a bit too untidy. I don't blame the boy. He's been so overworked lately. Please have a seat and we'll begin. As quirky as this place and its owner may be, at least I'm confident that I can nail the interview portion of the proceedings. Ooh, I've interviewed for a dozen jobs and held down 3. I know all the standard questions. What are your greatest strengths? What do you see as your weaknesses? Once I even had to describe how to assemble a Lego set to prove my communication skills. Considering I ended up washing dishes, I'm not sure why, but the point is I'm confident, prepared, ready.
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
What?
If you were a dinosaur, what dinosaur would you be?
Right, okay, maybe this wouldn't be a typical job interview after all. No problem. Go with the flow, let's do this. I've always wanted to be a bird, so... Wait, no. All dinosaurs are basically birds. Let me rephrase. I've always wanted to be a flying bird, so pterodactyl, swooping around, catching up drifts, staying way away from meat eaters. Really? How exciting. Even if technically speaking, pterodactyls aren't dinosaurs.
What's your favorite snack?
Hmm. Snack? If this is a favorite food question, I'd have this down easy. It's tacos, always tacos, but snacks?
When you have pizza on a bagel,
Pizza bagels. Say pizza bagels. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have. After giving it a thought, well, how could I forget my favorite snack? Tacos, tasty apple, whatever munchies lurk in the depths of the vending machine. I see you go with the flow, team player. It's kind of my thing. You know what they say. You are what you eat. Next question. Nothing I prepared for has helped me plan for this odd interview. I brace myself for the next one.
What assets can you bring to the team during the inevitable zombie apocalypse?
Is this interview for real or is this a dream? As I look into Francine's deadpan expression, I know she's 130% serious. Can I make stuff? Like, good, we'll need someone to build makeshift defenses and think quickly in case we get surrounded. Now, that second half I can do. An inventive brain is always a critical role in any survival. One more thing. The question is so simple and almost actually relevant to career planning that it takes me off guard. I told you I came about the job
You're
offer.
Seeking a job, true? But that doesn't really answer my question, does it? No doubt you think my interview questions are a bit silly, but I like to think of the Funplex as more than a collection of tasks and people to perform those tasks. Most folks my age opening arcades at that time saw it as just another way to make a quick buck. But, well, I saw it as something else. Something more than a way to make a large pile of quarters. And I expect you'll find the others working here see it as something more too. Everyone has a dream they're chasing, dearie. And for my friends, it lies within the Funplex. Now, if all you want is a paycheck, I can provide that. But the last fellow in your position, that's all he wanted. And he didn't last long. So I ask you again, why are you here?
To be honest, I didn't have a better answer than a vague hope. And maybe this time I wouldn't lose everything. But that's just enough motivation to face each day. No more than that. I wouldn't be enough to answer her question. Or it wouldn't be enough to answer her question. I needed to actually think this through. To be honest, I don't know. Not yet. I've been avoiding the question for a long time, just making do, getting by, settling for what life will give me. Maybe I should want more than that, though. When I was a kid, I'd go to the arcades with my family all the time, but that was long ago. Maybe I want to reconnect with that. Maybe I just want a job. I don't know. But if you hire me, I'm hoping to find out why I'm here along the way. I can promise you that I'll take this job seriously. In my last job, I was a lifeguard. Even if arcade games aren't life and death, I promise to take my work just as seriously. That perks her attention. Oh my, a rather serious occupation, that. And an unusual step from such troubled waters to a land of make-believe. You enjoyed this role as a lifeguard, I take it? Yes, ma'am. My roommate says she often noticed me smiling after coming home from work. Which makes Francine smile in turn. I can't say I offer a role with such high stakes, but you'd be surprised at the many ways one can save a life, even here. Very well, I'm satisfied. Satisfied? I can read. Let's get you to work. I breathe easier at that. Probably the weirdest job interview I've ever had, to be sure, and yet it felt appropriate. Like it was about far more than just filling a slot on the payroll. Francine leads me back to the arcade floor to introduce me to my duties. It occurs to me now that I forgot to ask exactly what duties this mystery job I accepted really involved. Francine gestures to the seat she was occupying previously, a stool behind the prize desk.
Oh, how marvelous.
Welcome to your new position, Monria. Sitting here, you mean? Sitting here and helping players redeem tickets for valuable prizes. I glance at the wide array of pencil toppers, rubber spiders, and tiny plastic toy cars on display. Well, for prizes, at any rate. Right. It's such a relief. I'd really been stretching myself thin lately trying to fill in since the position was vacated. If you don't mind me asking, ma'am, why did the last guy who sat here end up quitting? Something about being so bored out of his mind that he felt like jamming one of those 500 ticket push dolls down someone's throat.
Oh, such a shame.
Yeah, poor dear. He just wasn't cut out for this line of work. Grandson or no, I have no patience for such nonsense. I'm sorry, the last person to work this desk was your grandson? Anyway, Gavin should be by soon. He'll handle paperwork and all that administrative nonsense. Now, if you don't mind, all this talking tired me out some. I'll be in the back office if you need me. Okay, then. Story is interesting. I adjusted my seating on the semi-comfortable stool, leaning against the desk. Beneath me, a wide array of cheap junk awaited my attention. I could have lost hope then and there that this job would be even slightly more engaging than being a diner dishwasher, but chose to look on the positive side. I'd be helping kids obtain toys that would become nostalgic memories for years to come, right? Any minute now. I crave the sweet embrace of death. I was curious. I've been sitting here for 2 hours now and nobody's walked up to obtain a novelty foam flex shot glass or a colored pencil set or a light up yo-yo. Lunchtime's approaching and so far the only people walking in and out of the arcade are the few stray adults who have no interest in cheap friendship bracelets. Thankfully, my first customer of the day arrives before I start wondering if one of those 500 ticket plushies could really fit down someone's throat. Or maybe not. Nope, just walking right on by. Me, his head buried in reading some sort of spreadsheet off his tablet. Was he here to play? Doesn't seem like the typical businessman on a break or unwashed and unemployed game aficionado. In fact, he's a snappy dresser. Seems a cool dude. Most guys I know are content to toss on a t-shirt and jeans. Not this guy. Even in an arcade, he's sharp like a linoleum knife. In fact, that rather pointed look he's offering me after doubling back is rather linoleum knife-y too. Hold on a minute. Who are you exactly? What are you doing behind that desk? Where's Francine? He relaxes somewhat on hearing that. Somewhat.
Good to hear.
It's about time. I was wondering how long she'd have to work the desk. She's got gusto for an octogenarian and loves working the floor, but sitting here all day handing out toys and dealing with problems wears her down. So explain the job to you? Gave you the papers to sign? She said Gavin would handle that stuff. With a sigh, he rubs his forehead, feeling a headache coming on.
That would be me. I'm Gavin Cooper. I'm the business manager here at the Funplex. I make sure we manage to keep having a business rather than a pile of rapidly collapsing fiscal mistakes.
Right, so as you've no doubt guessed, you'll be exchanging tickets for prizes. But that's the least part of your job. There's more to it than that. You're the floor attendant. You attend to the floor. What, the carpets?
Seriously?
Ha! The floor, the arcade, the games, the patrons. You're the one running around, putting out fires and sorting out problems. Technically, you're our second floor attendant. Ashley will be in later, but we need two, one to roam, one to operate the desk. I do it myself, but I'm typically busy in the back office, making sure the whole thing doesn't fall to bankruptcy. That's why Francine loved filling in. She's a people person. She loves helping out in a pinch. I am not a people person, as you've likely gathered. That's not to say you're alone out here. I'm in your corner at least. If things go south, you tap me for advice on what to do. You got a phone? Of course. Gavin quickly passes me his business card. He apparently had a stack of them at the ready in his pocket. Go figure. His phone number is listed at the bottom. You ever worked a high pressure customer service job before? Shoe sales. Smelly socks? You have no idea. Right. Well, you know how to keep your head when a customer doesn't, I hope. But anything goes sideways, you text me. I'm not around, you text Ashley or Naomi. In that order. Who and who? You'll meet them soon enough.
I think not.
Above all, do not bug Francine. She's practically retired. Let her enjoy that retirement in peace. Understood? It's not my first explosive ordnance test. I've worked retail and food service, and I've worked as a lifeguard at a pool. Managing stress in difficult situations, even life or death ones, is something I've got experience in. You can rely on me. +1 with Gavin.
Indeed.
Good, I like to hear that. If you can handle yourself and exercise good judgment, you'll last a hell of a lot longer than the last guy who sat there.
If you stay clear and honest with me, do your work, do it well, we'll get along swimmingly. I have enough problems keeping this magical arc of hopes and wishes afloat. Please, don't add to my problems.
Magical arc of what now? But his expression softened somewhat afterwards.
I take it Francine told you her theory. That this is more than just a job. More than just an arcade.
That's my understanding.
I'm not into dressing up words. I like to speak plain. If I'm curt, then that's because optimization is a factor of my job. Everybody working here wants to work here. This is where they belong, for one reason or another. Me? I love chaos. I love wrangling chaos specifically. The arcade industry is high risk, high reward. I manage that risk so that they can also find happiness in their lives. Everybody in this business has a dream they're chasing. It's a fragile thing, prone to getting crushed by hard reality. My job is to see to it that never happens. That includes Francine, who deserves better in her twilight years than desperately propping up a semi-failing business. So, you find some value in this place beyond your salary, or you'll burn out. Trust me. Last guy to sit there burned out hard. Now, can I trust you to mesh with our merry misfits?
I'm here to do my best at supporting everyone. Another +1 with Gavin. I'd say we share some reviews then. It'll be a pleasure to work with someone who's actually enthusiastic and competent. Yep, Gavin might be my new date. Anyway, and hopefully this hive of weirdness will help you find your dreams along the way. Anyway, I need to go prepare your paperwork. Technically, you shouldn't be working until we've crossed the I's and dotted the T's, but since I'm already sitting here, you'd rather I stick around? That would be accurate. If you're willing to fudge things a bit and work today anyway, it'd help us out a lot. Now, if you don't mind, Naomi likely could use a hand in the workshop. A good opportunity to introduce yourself as well. Got it. Wait, someone else is here? I haven't seen anyone else. Yeah, that sounds like Naomi. Her workshop's through that door there, the one next to the UFO catcher, the crane game, to use layman's terms. Satisfied for now, Gavin heads to the back, presumably to the office to go crunch some numbers. If Francine's really taking a nap back there, hopefully he's going to crunch quietly. Alright, my first coworker ended up slightly less cool of a guy than I thought he'd be, but he's not a jerk, definitely. I get where he's coming from. Plus, I've known really blunt people before. It's easy to mistake them for jerks, especially at first glance. I figure I can give the guy an honest chance. Anyway, I should go meet my next coworker, this Naomi that he mentioned, although I could swear Francine and I were the only ones here until now. A double door, also marked employees only, also with an apostrophe. That bothers me too. Leads from the arcade floor to what feels like an industrial area of some sort. I turn the handle and step inside. Ah. What does the heart mean again? I don't remember. Alright, in a little room tucked away behind the back offices and the Funplex front. This is probably where they fix the arcade games. I find what is very likely this Naomi, spoken only of in myth and legend. What I do? A girl about my age, or certainly not my height, is tinkering away on what looks like an old tube-style monitor. Oh, I didn't realize they had so many circuits. She doesn't notice me when I come in, too busy soldering a capacitor into place. The lingering smell of melting metals fills the air with the poorly ventilated workshop. Fills the air of. Excuse me. For lack of a better way to interrupt her. I was worried no matter what I did, she might, I don't know, burn her fingers or jump so high she hit the ceiling or something. Fortunately, the shock's not quite that intense. Hello?
Hey, you know this room is for employees only.
She said with an
Are you
apostrophe.
lost? Do you need something?
I'm MonriaTitans, the new floor attendant starting today.
Oh! Hi! I didn't realize Francine already found someone. I guess I forgot to check my text. Whoops!
She spares a glance at her phone on the nearby workbench, where a huge stack of green notification messages lie in wait. I like her already. One thought comes to mind on actually seeing her. This room's right at the heart of the building, but totally isolated. With the heavy doors closed behind me, I can barely hear the arcade. Considering how completely and utterly dedicated she was to that monitor, not even noticing me, I guess that's also why. But what I first noticed is her smile. Even when squinting to see the tiny components on the circuit board, even when laser focused, she was smiling happily.
Anyway, I'm Naomi Fairchild, the Funplex's techie. Hi! Pleased to meet you. I was expecting Gavin, though. He usually checks up on me about now.
He's busy doing strange things with numbers.
Ugh, yeah, that sounds like Gavin. I take it he sent you along to help? Great. Give me a hand with this monitor. It's really heavy, and I'm still paranoid about dropping it after what happened last time.
Really? What happened last time?
Oh, well, I dropped it.
Oh, right. She helps me lift the large, I'm gonna guess, cathode ray tube, slotting the heavy metal framework into place within the exposed guts of the nearby arcade cabinet. Once done, she starts hooking wires back up to other wires. There's a surprising number of green circuit boards in that largely hollow wooden shell. This is the first time I've seen inside one of these things. It's weird. Lots of empty space, a couple large slabs of circuits, and that beefy monitor. Why is it so empty in there? It seems inefficient. Couldn't you pack more games into the arcade if it was more compact? Not really. It's more about the footprint on the floor than the vertical height. Naomi keeps working, using a pocket multimeter to check various connections as she
Let me
speaks.
explain.
I mean, compare American and Japanese cabinets. Ours are designed for standing players, so they have to be upright, even if that means an empty base. Japanese candy cabs are shorter, so they play sitting down, but I prefer American style. Ours have more room for art. That makes a shit ton of sense. She closes up the rear access panel, closing it with one of the many keys on the keyring at her side, then steps back to admire her handiwork. There's genuine joy in that smile, not just a job well done, but at looking at the whole thing like it's a fine sculpture.
So beautiful.
Oh, I love the classic midday style. Look at those sharp angles, the side art decals, the bold font on the marquee, the piece of artwork, bezel, I think. The what on the what and the what artwork? With a sigh, Naomi points out key features to me. The strip across the top with the game title, that's the marquee. The artwork that wraps around the monitor, that's the bezel. Ooh. I mean, you see it too, right? How beautiful and cohesive it all is, working in harmony to give this game its own unique feel, its own experience. As for me, well, I agree, it's beautiful in its way. So you're our resident game historian then. Actually, arcade games, the standing one, yeah, they are actual beauties to look at. I said the way she stares lovingly at this, well, honestly, this box of wooden circuits and vacuum tubes and stuff, I think I understand. It was made to be one whole thing. The art, the style, and of course the game itself. All of it part of the same experience. Everything about this game is the game. If you run it an emulator or on a game console instead, it's made lesser. Yeah, I guess I could see it. It's beautiful in its own way. +1. Ooh. That is cool. See? This is unique. I'm loving this. It kind of has that feel of Dragon Age, the friend meter, like Dragon Age 2, like the friend bar. But instead of a friend bar, where it shows rival and friendship, it's just a points thing. And this game actually tracks, sort of. Well, not sort of. I can't see how many times I pressed each one, but I can see where I fit in the bar. That's cool. Naomi lights up with joy like a pinball machine all twinkly and shiny.
Woohoo!
Finally, so few people really understand the beauty of a classic arcade game. Having someone I can talk to about this stuff is really going to be great. Especially with that jerk Gavin running the numbers. Gavin? What's wrong with Gavin?
I don't know.
Okay, well, don't get me wrong. I can get along with him, generally, but his whole attitude just... oh.
Ugh.
All he really cares about is money. He keeps the arcade running, yeah, but I just know if he had his way, he'd gut the whole place. If anybody's gonna ruin the funplex, it's him. Mark my words, it's inevitable. That doesn't sound right. He seemed easy enough to get along with, and what's more, Gavin gave me the whole speech about protecting their dreams. This looks like a pretty sore point here. A long-standing argument with the new gal really shouldn't get involved with. I think I read that wrong. And yet, I'm involved, aren't I? I have to work with both Naomi and Gavin. So I'm not sure I should prod at it, but I kinda want to know, too. I just get so mad thinking about what evil money-minded schemes he's probably cooking up. No. No, not gonna get worked up. Besides, it's not right of me to dump all this workplace gossip right on the head of the newbie. You seem like a good person, and you love arcade games like I do. Right, let's get back to work, shall we? Now for the less fun part. You seem a strong, strapping kind of gal. Well, a strong gal at least. Well, you're a gal. That's enough. I'm semi-insulted then? Okay, let's do it. Right, a little to the left. Now, my left. My left! You're right. Careful. Now forward, right? Correct. I mean, not turn to the right. Keep it going, and there. Carefully, carefully. Tip it into place. Victory! I gently ease the rolling dolly forward, the giant wooden box slotting into place alongside its neighbors. The two-headed dolly makes it easier, but hardly easier, especially with Naomi fretting over her baby getting scratched or worse, falling over. But with the work done, she's all smiles again. Okay, glad to be done with that one. I swear I've been working on that monitor for ages. Those tubes are finicky as heck, and I'm still not totally satisfied with the flyback. But thanks for helping me out, Monria. I think we're gonna do just great here. Happy to... I'm guessing that's a burp. Oh, right. Stomach growling. Food required. Except, I was expecting to actually be working today. I forgot to pack a lunch.
When you have pizza on a bagel.
Good timing, Iris. Now, I'm just talking here, but if you had pizza on a bagel... Hey, so any good restaurants in walking distance? I think that bookstore next door sells donuts and stuff, but, no, not really, unfortunately. I mean, there's a cheapo wub-sub sandwich place, but even if that stuff is super tasty, you don't want to go there. You need to eat healthy. Hey, I know. Wait right here. And she's off, scurrying back to her hidey hole. And she's back, scurrying from her hidey hole. Lunchtime, here you go. She presses a box lunch into my hands. It's a bento box. I learned how to make them from my mom, who learned from her mom back when they lived in Japan. Rice and pickles and all sorts of good, healthy things. Wait, you're giving me your lunch? Sure, why not? And yet, when I first walked in as a stranger, she looked super uncomfortable with me. That escalated quickly. What do you have for lunch then? Oh, I can just get some nachos from the vending machine or go hit the whole story next door. I've got a book delivery to pick up here anyway. But you say eating healthy was important? See you after lunch. I can't help but think she was just looking for an excuse to go get some junk food instead. I'd say Naomi definitely fits in with Francine's ideas for this arcade. She's got a love for those games, and it shows. And giving her lunch, me a total stranger, that's a kindness I don't know if I deserve, but I appreciate it all the same. So, a bento box. I've only seen these in anime. It's cute and hopefully got plenty of calories too. Armed with a box of healthy food, I retire to the employee lounge to get my munch on. The room where I had my bizarre job interview will suffice for food times. It's not much, a few folding chairs and a kitchenette, but it'll do. Alright, utterly famished. By this point, I have a seat and unpack my loaned lunch. What? Well, it was a good run. Death by a floofy monster was definitely not something I considered in the thousands of ways I pictured my own death. Honestly, I thought I'd pass doing something I loved. Alas, may the Reaper take me swiftly and painlessly. Rude, this floofy monster has feelings too. Wait, you aren't my doom? Oh, hey, you're human. That's an improvement, I think.
Hey, so I'm sorry if I traumatized you. Really?
I'm gonna guess that's Ashley.
Can we start over, maybe?
I nod my head slowly, although that could just be muscle spasms from being in shock.
I'm Ashley.
Called it. And I'm Monria.
Also Pinky, the Funplex Flamingo. It's my secret, yet not so secret identity.
What, the Funplex what now? This is almost too much to take in. Gavin was a bit of a lot. Naomi was off the scare cheerful. I've met some really intense people so far.
Did you sneak into the employee section just to get my autograph?
Me or no?
Oh, I thought you would recognize Pinky from all the signs around the arcade. Pinky is the mascot of the Funplex, after all.
Oh no, that's not what I meant at all. I mean, I work here.
You work here? Since when?
Today? This morning, to be specific.
Oh, awesome! Welcome to the Funplex.
She's perky. I mean, it would have been way cooler if you were just so enamored with the chibi flamingo creature plastered on every wall that you had to know more.
Let's see.
You could have stealthily maneuvered your way through all the games, sliding right on top of the employees only door. But how did you get the door code?
Ooh.
Of course! You would have collected the password on a piece of paper that fell from Gavin's pocket. You searched your heart and decided that 4-digit number had to be the intel you needed.
See.
Okay, this woman is weird. Even for me. Next, you needed to lie in wait for the opportune moment to punch in that secret key code just to find me. It just keeps going. Yeah, it does. She's definitely passionate about this fictional story. Ashley's got quite the imagination, alright? Wow, I mean, wow. I'm super impressed, albeit slightly terrified. That was my option. There we go. I picked the right one. Oh, and I got a +1. She can just take an idea and run with it. Where she's running with it, I'm not sure she even knows. Oh, and how you and how would you snuck out, I wonder? I could have helped, but for a price. Ashley finally realizes she's been babbling to herself for a good couple minutes. Oops. Sometimes I get swept up in a good story. I mean, I gotta find some way to make this job more interesting. Is it really that dull here? No, not really. I just crave a different kind of excitement than beeps and boops, screaming children, and broken machines. You aren't really painting the best picture here. Ah, geez, I don't mean to be a downer. I just want to move up in the world. I've got things to accomplish, dreams to fulfill, cosplay to make. Ah, cosplay? As we switch topics, it's like she's a completely different person. Ash's eyes light up and she smiles. Yeah, you know, like dressing up as your favorite video game or TV character. I love it. It's so empowering to be able to make your own costume and wear it proudly. It's even better when people recognize what character you are. Empowering? Really? Granted, she certainly had the power to stop my heart for a few beats. Definitely, you want to try? Got a favorite game character? I can help you make your first cosplay if you want. In fact, I made this one. I think Ashley is pointing to her flamingo costume, but it's a little hard to tell with her hands as feathers. So Pinky is your creation intentionally? Yep. It looks pretty good for my first mascot cosplay, doesn't it? I'm all thumbs when it comes to stuff like that. Literally, if I get enough thread running between them. I'm pretty impressed, though. Naomi was going on about craftsmanship of games. Clearly, you're digging on craftsmanship of costumes. Aw, thanks. Aw, thanks. It's nice when hard work is appreciated. I wear it around the funplex to liven up the crowds, get people pumped to play some games, and the kids seem to adore it. That makes sense. Although the arcade has been completely dead so far, no crowds to pump or kids to be adored by. Hey, secret between you and me? Ashley motions for me to come closer. She leans in, glances around the room once, and talks in a hushed tone. I did some repairs on Pinky overnight. I had to re-stitch the left arm, and I was giving her an old test drive to make sure it doesn't fall off. Huh, limbs falling off seems bad. Oh, it was. Yesterday I was dancing with a little girl. Must have been like 5, 6 years max. Anyway, we were next to Showtime stage when she tugged on my arm and whoosh. Off came the arm. The girl instantly started bawling. Well, at least you're consistently scaring people, and it's not just me.
Nope.
Hey now. I don't want that to happen again. I feel so bad. But enough about me. What are you? So you're Carl's replacement? I guess so. I'm the new floor attendant. I attend to the floor. The floor is a thing I'm attending to when I'm not going into cardiac arrest. At least you're funnier than Carl, that's for sure. I can't wait to go home and tell Juniper I have a sense of humor. She'll be so proud. I assume you've already met Francine, but have you had a chance to meet Gavin and Naomi yet? Yeah, I met them already, although it seems like they aren't too keen on each other. Right? Ashley rolls her eyes and lets out a sigh. I wish they would hurry up and make out already. Yeah, wait. What? Seriously? So, are they going out? Nope. But they always bicker like an old married couple. It's classic anime cliche, the ones who fight always end up together. Mark my words, Monria. Consider them marked. Beep, 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 Monria. What's that sound? Drat, I sent an alarm for my lunch break was over. Time to go back to the grindstone. I didn't even get a chance to eat.
No.
That's no good. Mariah needs her calories. You eat up. I'll go watch the floor. In fact, how about I take over the ticket desk for your next shift? You can do my job and wander the floor a bit. Fair enough. Thanks. As she winks before her face disappears in the dark recesses of that inhuman mask. As I'm wolfing down rice in the shape of a little heart, wow, it occurs to me I didn't actually ponder my first impressions of Ashley yet. Let's see. She's pretty amazing. I like her enthusiasm about her art. Ashley's got a lot going on in that head of hers. I just don't understand it at all. Meh. I get it. She's enthusiastic. I'm an artist too. The way Ashley's whole expression changed when she talks about things she's passionate about just warms my heart. Her beaming energy just lights up the whole room. I wonder if one day I'll be that excited about something. Okay. You know what? I did not need to feel attacked like that. Anyway, with lunch in my belly and break time complete, the second half of my workday began. Rolling into the afternoon, the crowd starts to fall in. Out. School's done. The late rising pros are heading out to their arcades of choice. With Ashley covering the desk, my job is to wander the floor, looking for problems or potential problems, or just making sure everything's A-okay. But for starters, it's a good moment to collect my thoughts. I think I'm off to a decent start with my coworkers. Good first impressions at any rate. Cooperation is going to be a must. I've had awful coworkers before, and they can really drag down your day. Yeah. Hang on. No time for daydreaming. I think I spot, let's see, 3 possible issues to look into. I should have time to get to all of them, but which do I tackle first? An irate customer near Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze. Someone cursing up a storm at fight discomfort. Let's do the cursing up a storm. There's a lot of shouting coming from the corner of the arcade where a Fist of Discomfort is being played. I remember Iris telling me all about it earlier today while I was bored to death at the ticket desk. Fist of Discomfort, or FOD, is one of the most popular games in the esports circuit. It's been a staple of the scene for over 6 years. 1 year, Team Wicked Prodigies took on the Unreal and came back to win in the dying seconds of a tiebreaker match to take home a record $5 million prize pot. Wow. That's a lot of moolah. And how? Okay, so how does it work? It's a hybrid of real-time strategy and button mash brawling. Fight your way down the top and bottom lanes, clearing waves of ninjas to finally topple the enemy dojo. But that's the action part. The strategy part involves using special abilities, purchase items, and ninja summons. FOD is sheer elegance in its simplicity, the way the different game systems interweave to form one masterpiece of esports perfection. So summon good ninjas, punch bad ninjas, smash dojo. I'd say boiling down a rich game of action and strategy played the world over by top gamers in such a way is a bit degrading, but sure, okay. All of which is super interesting and stuff, but right now, all I care about is dealing with the loudmouth currently playing the game. The closer I get, the louder the yells get. Most of these are words that...
What the
I like this person! No, those are definitely all words my mother would disapprove of. Got to be. There's no fucking way that is even plausible. Those hitboxes don't even fucking connect. Fuck this game. Fuck it all night long. Get wrecked. Oh, this is far from over, scrub. I saved up a little something extra special for you. I've been beating you and attacking my sensei, which you fell for hard. Oh, hey. Did I forget to mention that I bought an extra ultimate technique scroll for my dojo? Whoops, my bee. Wait, what? You haven't been farming. How could XP share technique with creep waves? Take this. 5-fold fucking explosive death clog technique. Ha!
Oh, GG. No one can defeat me, Queen Bee.
You notice her design? It looks like she has fangs. My dry eyes painfully blinking makes me realize I've been sitting there watching intently during that whole exchange. I'm not 100% sure what just happened, but that didn't matter. I was completely sucked in, couldn't tear my eyes away. It was like watching a train wreck. I mean, if the train was the arcade game and the wreck was that guy's face.
Hey, kid. What are you staring at? Never seen a champion of my caliber before?
Oh, Seeing as I don't even know how to begin to start to even consider how to respond to her question, I opt to take a moment to collect my thoughts. From what I've somehow gathered, she goes by Queen Bee. A jacket she's wearing identifies her as a member of L7 Gaming, an arcade esports team. I don't want to go to break, but I have to. And she's the most direct, fierce person I've met all day. And that's saying a lot, considering who I've run into so far. With the level of excitement always gushing out, I can only imagine how much enjoyment she gets out of life. What can I say? People love winning, and it seems like she wins a lot. At least between bursts of, what did Iris call it, saltiness?
Hey, don't just stand there all weird and quiet-like. It's creepy.
She snaps her fingers to
So,
grab my
are
attention.
you gonna quarter up or not? Think you can best the hottest rising star of L7?
From what I've seen, I know I couldn't best a scrub, let alone a professionally competitive player of this game. Nope. No thank you. Plus, I'm not sure I'm allowed to play the games while I'm working.
You? You work here?
I enforce arcade law within the noble. Right, I'm the new floor attendant. And if you're not careful with your snark, I can show you to the exit. Oh, you are a cute one. Sassy. And
They
direct.
haven't given you a name tag yet. How am I supposed to know who you are?
Yeah, I think that was actually a weird tactic to have me introduce myself to her. I'm Monria. I did technically just start working here 6 hours ago. It might take them some time to issue me a name tag. Maybe they need to send a carrier pigeon to an ancient monastery where name tags are forged in a vast clay oven. Heh, Gavin's been slacking this big time. Oh, nah, Gavin's been slacking big time. I'll talk to that silly boy for you. Make sure you get some proper respect. Thanks? No problem. We gamers got to sit
I'm
together.
Queen Bee, by the way. Aggro-style FOD lane pusher specialist for L7 Gaming.
I figured that when you put your arms over your head, cheered out loud, no one can defeat me, Queen Bee.
Hey, I do not sound like that. Well, maybe a little.
Anyway, I'm one of the regulars around here besides Purpur and Tio. So you'll be seeing a lot of me in the future. Let's hope you last longer than the last guy. Oh great, now she's making my job into a competition. Hope there isn't a betting pool too. You look like a smart kid. You've seen one of my many streams on the internet, right? Nope. I literally have no idea what you are talking about.
Oh.
Really? Have you been living under a rock for the past decade? If you consider a small, formidable apartment a rock, then yes. Oh, you sweet child. You are so innocent and pure. Come, let me show you the path to darkness that is the internet. Nope, nope, nope! My internal sensors are going off, and they're telling me to reverse and leave this conversation ASAP. No, 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 I think I'm okay without that.
On!
Where's the fun in that? I'm just going to show you how it all works. Queen Bee grabs my arm and pulls me closer to the Fist of Discomfort cabinet. And upon further inspection, I see the whole haphazard pile of tech she's rigged up. Alright, so after I finish this conversation, I'm going to break. I wasn't expecting it to be this long. You can't just plug one of these cabs into the internet, so I use a number of clip-on webcams and mics and stuff. That webcam there, it broadcasts my own personal PC back home, which then streams matches live to all my fans. The chat room appears on my phone. Costs a bit to put everything all together, and it takes like half an hour to rig up and test each morning, but after doing this for a couple years, it's easy peasy. Aside from Naomi grinding her teeth at my clip-on cameras, damaging the paint job, I mean. Anyway, I prefer to stream from the Funplex than from home. There's so much to miss out on sitting by your lonesome with the console version of FOD. The crowds, the wicked trash talk, the community. Well, wait, are you broadcasting live right now? Are we live right now?
No way.
Yeah, fuck no. That was part of my warm-up matches. I've got a pretty big tournament coming up, so I try to get as much practice in as possible, even if it is with a bunch of fodder. Ha! As in fodder. As in, you know, chum, lunch meat, scrubs, losers. I've got the idea, yes. Queen Bee sees something out of the corner of her eye and glances around the arcade room. She gives a nod to someone hanging near the Street Fighter cabinet. Ah, my crew is starting to trickle in. We should be starting team practice soon. Wait, what time is it? At the tone, the time will be 2:25 p.m.
Beep, beep.
Eastern. Beep beep.
What the?
I gotta go live in 5 minutes. Listen, kid. It's been swell. We'll chat later, right? Sure, one thing. Can you keep the swearing down at least a little? We've got kids around here, and I don't want you to get in trouble with Gavin. Him? Meh. But for you, I'll keep it to a PG-13 rating. Now, if you excuse me, there are some butts out there that I need to kick. And with a wave and a twirl, she completely abandons me and returns to her Fist of Discomfort game. Queen Bee fires up her broadcast rig, and the shouting and milder swearing start up again. I should probably get out of here before I accidentally end up on the stream. Passion seems to run deep in this arcade. Everybody's spirit burning with passion for, well, various things. But hey, passion's passion. She seems to like me, which will make my job easier in the long run. There's a huge FOD community in this arcade, despite being a tiny strip mall joint. Good to know. Let's see what to handle next. Fuck. Actually, no. I'll just come back. Duh. Conversation done. Let's solve that problem. All right. So, going on break, we take breaks on the stream to challenge the norm of not. If streamers are going to be streaming for full time, they need to treat it like a full time job and ensure they have their breaks and lunches for their spectators as well. Catch a bit. Catch you in a bit. I can talk. Song has been stuck in my head. That's the ADHD brain for you. But the only difference here is I know exactly which tab the music is in. Let's go to the irate customer. Hello, Triple X. My mutant floor attendant senses detect danger from the left-hand side of the arcade. Did I save? No, I didn't. Let me save. Actually, hang on. Auto? So save. So hang on. So this is the... Oh! Okay. Automatic save. Okay. That makes me feel better. Somewhat. Oh, it automatically saves with each... Oh, that's cool. But where's Naomi's? Where's Naomi's quick save? That makes me sad. Anyway. So my mutant floor attendant senses detect danger from the left-hand side of the arcade. I quickly rush all of 30 feet to the scene of the crime, already in progress. Come on! Hurry up and finish your game. Do you work here? I saw you behind the desk earlier. Note to self, ask Gavin for a name tag or something. Yes, I'm Monria, the floor attendant. Well, stop attending to the carpets and attend to me. I want this person to wrap up his damn game so I can play. Ashley's face is obscured beneath her costume's mask, but I can feel her wince as the man curses up a blue streak. Sir, there are children present. Please keep the swearing to a minimum. You kick his fat piece of... I could imagine a bunch of words off this game, and I'll sing Mary Had a Little Lamb all you want. Figuring out to hear the fat piece of person's side of the story before rushing to a judgment, I tap the player on the shoulder. And he doesn't even notice my tapping. So I tap again, twice. Sir, there are other players waiting to give Mr. Moopy's magic maze a spin. Curious if the player looks up at the game's marquee, thank you Naomi, which simply reads Moopy. You know the game's full name? Sure, I played it a lot when I was a kid. It's actually called Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze, right? Wizards and pellets and monsters and stuff. Yeah. A bit terse as he's laser focused on the game, and I can see why. He's currently sitting on 714,900 points. It's another Pac-Man. Anyway. Holy crap. That's a heck of a high score. Or as this other guy would probably put it, holy shit, I can actually think of that's an interesting spot to put a cuss word. So, holy shit. The first thought that comes to my mind is it's a shit of a high score, but no. Right, sir. Can you please wrap up your game? Nope. I'm keeping good pace here. Plenty of lives stocked on par for getting close to the world record before the kill screen. Somehow the thick arcade jargon sounds classier when draped in his British accent, like I'm watching some documentary program on the BBC. Yeah, but this is a public arcade. Other folks want to play the games too. He finishes clearing the current board while pondering the predicament. Okay. At first, I think he's stepping away to end his game, but he is letting his stock of 50 extra dudes slowly deplete as he pulls out his wallet. Without pause, he pulls out $300 in cash and holds it out. Will this cover it? For a moment, I flash back to that movie where some dude pays another dude to sleep with his wife, and they roll around in bed covered in money and, cover what exactly? The cost of the game. The game itself. I have never seen this much raw cash in one place at any given time. It's not even 20s. Dudes rolling in Benjamins. One moment, please. On it. Fortunately, Iris already has my messenger app open for me with Gavin's contact info preloaded. With trembling fingers, I key in customer wants to buy a movie for $3K, what do? In less than a minute, I have my response. Consider we pay $200 for it plus parts. Yes, absolutely yes. Sell that relic immediately. Well, okay then. Although, how's Naomi going to react to this? Offloading one of her darlings just because Gavin wants to make a 15-fold profit? It also feels kind of weird to be taking advantage of this guy's lack of a grasp on the real costs of old arcade machines. I knew all this workplace drama was going to catch up to me at some point, but with this rando breathing down my neck, I gotta make a decision. Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure if we should sell this game. Oh man, I don't know about this. My semi-boss is cool with it, but there's a lot of factors in play. I don't think I should just let you walk out with the thing. I feel a bit wishy-washy about the whole mess, not wanting to get on Naomi or Gavin's bad sides, but the player simply smiles. Well, we can't have a mess, can we? Wouldn't be sporting. Let's compromise. I'll buy the game so I can play it whenever I want, for as long as I want, provided nobody's already playing, of course. And in return, you can keep Mr. Moopy here where he belongs. We wouldn't want Naomi to cry, would we? Wouldn't be proper. With his mind made up, the man presses $3 grand into my waiting hand, satisfied with the negotiation, which leaves the rando hopping mad. To be fair, we had been kind of ignoring that he exists. What the fuck, man? What kind of arcade is this anyway? Fuck this, I'm going to Deco's Palace. And we just lost a customer stomping his way out the door. Stomp, stomp, stomp. On the plus side, Naomi won't cry. On the negative side, I just drove a rando out into the cold.
What a disagreeable fellow.
As for the player, well, he goes right back to playing, eating pellets, zapping ghost monsters, clearing mazes. With the crisis behind us, I can actually focus on who this gonzo rich guy actually is. He seems to care about more than just his game. Take it from someone wallowing around in the lower tax brackets, the rich can do whatever they want whenever they want, and yet that's not what this guy did. He could have, but he let us keep the game. He just wanted to play. That's all. And why? Because of Naomi. Because of the Funplex. It's a home and a family for the games and for us. Maybe it's for the best I sent that rando out the door in favor of this guy. So, you know Naomi? He's happy to talk, even while playing.
I'm a Funplex regular. My name's Percy. I'd hazard you're our new floor attendant? I was here when Francine seated you behind the desk earlier.
That's me, MonriaTitans, Arcane Wrangler.
Well then, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I look forward to getting to know you better.
So you seriously just been playing Moopy all day, huh?
What can I say? It's my calling. I actually owned a Moopy cabinet once. Had it in my flat. But playing it by myself, all alone in the dark, it's not the same. I need the atmosphere.
The beeps and boops?
No, those you eventually learn to filter out. I mean, everything. The games, the lights, the kids, the feeling of being in an arcade. I score my best when I'm in real-world conditions. It's all about the emotions. The laughter and the tears, the excitement of competition. I need that swirling chaos of human emotions around me to play at my finest.
Naomi gets that. She keeps Moopy in top condition for the day I eventually land my high score. What's the current world record then? About 3.5 million. This guy has been standing here since I was working the morning shift, hours and errors, and he's still only about 720k into this game. Can't imagine him being in anything but top health condition to try this. Guy's gotta have legs made out of carbon fiber and a bladder of tungsten. I just let a few extra lives drain out whenever I need to go pee. Also, he may be psychic. I feel like I should let him get back to his game, but burning questions, they burn like fire. How is it he can afford this game? So you're gonna get your moopy dipped in gold? Heh. If it was me tossing around green like that, I'd have my game coated in solid gold and encrusted with diamonds. Amusing, but gold's a bit heavy, isn't it? It'd break through the floor. Ha! +1 with Percy. But, you know, it's shiny, right? Right? Huh?
Don't think so.
Certainly, but I don't throw around money to impress people. Wouldn't want to make my game that ostentatious. It's a bit much, yes? Money removes obstacles. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a tool like any other. I do day trading, stocks and bonds. It's really nothing interesting, afraid. I care more for Moopy as a whole. Right. He's getting more and more distracted by the game. I should leave him be. I have to do a thing about a thing. Be seeing you, Miss Titans. Yet another weird encounter, and a string of weird encounters. By the end, he sounded more like the high-score junkies you hear about in documentaries. Obsessed, driven, kind of strange, but that's not the impression I had of him from the beginning. He smiled when talking about not splitting up the arcade. There's something more going on here. But, well, he's a Funplex regular. There'll be plenty of them to learn more later. There'll be plenty of time to learn more later. I've got work to do. Let's see what to handle next. A loud crowd around Showtime stage. The time. I wasn't paying attention to the time. We'll need to close the door. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to see that people do come to the arcade, but that's quite the crowd that's assembling. Like larger than Queen Bee's team was. Rowdier too. I don't understand why I need to take a duster to my controller. I would think I use it often enough for it to not gather dust. Interesting. Moving on. This has to be against some fire code or safety protocol or something, right? Speaking as a citizen that enjoys living. I have an escape route in case of emergency is necessary. Time to clear the way and pave my own path of safety. As I approach, I see flashing neon lights accompanied by upbeat Euro pop Drifts. It's an auditory flashback right to 1980. Beep! I can't help but nod my head to the beat. A pulsating mass of people have surrounded Showtime stage, cheering on the current player. The game itself takes up a whole corner of the arcade, requiring a fair amount of space to actually play. Showtime Stage is an ultra-modern arcade smash hit. It uses motion tracking sensors hidden behind the color spotlights to check dance pose accuracy and score your sweet moves. It's pure dance fever. Can you catch the fever, Monria? I had my dance fever shots at the doctor's office earlier this season. As the dance ends, one of the players hops down from the stage and immediately starts talking to a young man leaning up against the back wall. Did you see that, Tio? I got my first double A on Stop the Beat.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, I did. You're doing great. Remember last month you couldn't even pass that song? Totes impressive. I'm gonna keep dancing, or practicing, and one day maybe even surpass you. Hey, I hope you do. And when you do, you can be the one who brings in new dancers and teaches them how to play. As the next song starts, my eyes shift from their conversation to observe the gyrations and intricate limb movements coming from Showtime stage. I feel my head bobbing and my foot tapping. Hey, it's a really catchy song. Can you blame me? I'm getting really into it when I feel a hand on my shoulder.
Care to dance?
How about you? Want to take the spotlight? Sure, why not? Back when I was stomping around on dance mat games as a kid, they had arrows. I'm not sure I even know how to play this one, but it has caught my curiosity. From the previous observed conversation, this guy seems to know the ins and outs of this weird dancing game and is keen to teach. Before I commit to getting down with my bad self, I think I should know a little more about exactly what that entails. Plus, I'm used to playing these games solo, less chance of stomping on someone else's foot that way. 'Tis a valid point. However, how could I resist to ask a gal such as yourself? You caught my eye the moment you walked over.
Wait. You're new here, right?
Yes,
Name's
sir.
Mateo, but everyone here just calls me Teo.
Teo's the best. Greatest guy here. He's sort of like our leader? Yeah?
Please, I'm nothing really. Nothing as special as you.
Oh.
I just like to show newbies the ropes and teach them how to play. Our community is small, but we're all super close. I think you'd be a perfect addition to our gang. So, what do you say? Play our silly dancing game?
Hero stretches his arm to me, waiting for my hand to grab his. I'm gonna have to politely decline because I'm working right now. The offer is hard to refuse. Dance games are fun, you know, but I can't imagine being up there dancing in front of a huge crowd. Maybe after I've played Showtime stage multiple times. Alone. Possibly in the dark. I'll give it a try eventually after I sort out the basic steps. Maybe you can teach me how this thing works. Oh, I got a +1. I've taught many lead-footed newbies to become master movers and shakers. No time for lessons, unfortunately. I'm on the clock right now. I'm the new floor attendant, Monria. Really? But I haven't seen you around here at all. What happened to the other guy? He was actually pretty good at Showtime stage, now that I think about it. He's out. I'm in. It's currently year 0 of the floor attendant Monria regime.
Hello there.
Well, it's an honor to meet you, Monria. Oh, we get to know each other well. Indeed. For someone that loves Showtime stage as much as you do, I haven't actually seen you play yet. True, most of the time during these meetups, I tend to let everyone else play. I go around and make sure everyone is happy and having a blast. But what about you and your feelings? Tio shrugs. My happiness comes from making other people happy. Well, aren't you just a sweetheart? That's all I need in life, which is all well and good, but I still need to deal with this crowd. How best to handle it? I said, I know you're here. I know you're having a ball over here, but this crowd is blocking the emergency exit. By law, we have to keep a path present.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, if I let it happen once, then it's going to happen all the time. I get it though. Your crew's passionate about this game, and that's a good thing, but a stampede on my first day at work would be bad for everyone involved. Could you imagine the headlines? Local arcade's floor attendant trampled on first day, blood everywhere. Yeah, I don't want to be checking my social media tomorrow and click the link to your obituary. We totes can't have that. I got this. Luckily, the song that was being played just finished. Tio jumps on the stage and cups his hands over his mouth. Hey, listen! We need to keep the area to the left of the stage clear. Aw, man, but why? I like my spot. Hey, now, you know the deal. We all have to be cool about fire safety. It's been Riot's first day, so let's show her some respect. I see everyone turn around and glare at me. Great, now I'm going to be known as the Party Hooper. I guess I've had worse reputations in my lifetime. Like that one time I had to close the pool because of that dirty bandage floating in the water. No one would talk to me for a week. Hey, don't disappoint me, crew. When Raya's just doing her job, reluctantly the crowd reshuffles itself in a semi-orderly fashion. As everyone settles into a safer way of watching the game, Teal jumps down and comes back to me. Better? I nod, genuinely impressed with how Teal can capture his community's attention. They listen to him and have the utmost respect for him. Yeah, actually, much better.
Didn't mean to cause any trouble. Sometimes we just get so caught up in the game, you know? Of course you know. Hey, you should still join us later. Maybe when your shift's over. We'll all be here dancing until closing time.
Damn. As long as that dance is within the law, carry on. Officer Monria has spoken. I start to walk away, ready for my next venture, when I remember something I should do. I turn back to Tio. Hey, thanks.
No problem.
Well, I feel nice and accomplished. I was able to uphold the safety of the arcade and make a new friend. I say that's pretty good for my first day. Even Gavin's got to be impressed, right? With that business sorted out, it's time to leave Showtime stage. The arcade is now at peace. My work here is done. Well, actually, we're a few hours from closing time, so my work here isn't quite done, but you know. Q. I'm so at peace in fact that I don't even notice the underboss of the arcade sliding up behind
Good
me.
day.
Not a bad first day so far. I've been keeping tabs on you. Well, others have been, and they've been texting me. You know, you should consider getting a proper group chat app going. I've got a crazy phone plan. My texts aren't free. A valid point. I'll look into that.
Impressive.
I'm impressed with how you handle yourself. I think you're going to work out just fine. Anyway, I've prepared your paperwork. If you'd like to go sign it and make this working relationship a bit more above board.
Yeah.
So you're staying? Please tell me you're staying. I mean, I fed you and everything. Francine hasn't hired her yet, right? An adorable nightmare joins the impromptu staff gathering. Mariah's off to a great start. Here's to your first day, followed by many more. Don't you two have jobs to attend to? Just ordered a replacement power supply for Robotron. Nothing left to do for the day. Not many kids around for me to entertain. Finally, a quiet moment. My dream job has been doing a mile a minute since I got here. Is it my dream job? I told Francine I wasn't sure why I was here, but that I was willing to try and find out for myself. It'd be silly to think I'd find my purpose after a single day, but on the whole, that day's been pretty decent. I'm starting to get along with my coworkers. I'm helping people with their problems. What more could I want? I'm curious. Okay, so I wish I was actually keeping count. I wish this actually showed an actual number. What more could I want? Well, I don't know. Not yet, but I'll find out one day. We've only got a few hours till closing and it's nice and quiet. How about we game a bit? Speak for yourself. I've still got paperwork to handle. Oh, come on. Don't act like you don't game. Irrelevant. I know your dirty little secret. What? Naomi. You sneak in early every morning to play pinball. You're a pinball wizard. Ah, well, what of it? I bring order to chaos. Pinball is the very expression of that art form. You know what we should do? Impromptu pinball tourney. The girls are giggling, and I find myself smiling right alongside them. All in all, not a bad day. Way to end my first day.
By the way, I've booked a birthday party for this afternoon.
Looks of confusion, outright terror on their faces, all laughter dying off immediately, are vaguely concerning to me.
Sorry, I meant to tell you, dears, but I plumb forgot.
A birthday party? How old are these kids, may I ask? It's her 5th birthday. Oh, to be young again. 5 years old? Naomi starts pulling at her hair, eyes wide and trembling. Throwing ski balls over her hand into the glass, jumping up and down on pinball machines, putting chewing gum into coin slots, pulling at my costume, tearing off pieces of it. Naomi, Ashley, keep it together. We've survived kids' birthday parties before. Doom, doom, the end is nigh.
I'd hate to get in the way of all the fun. Yep, it's time for my afternoon nap anyway.
Have fun, dears.
Have fun, dears.
Right. Battle stations, everyone. I'll take ticket desks so I can oversee operations. Ashley, greet the kids. Naomi, watch for hardware damage. Manriah, roaming duty. Look for trouble. Do what you can. Prepare yourselves. They are coming. Like an oncoming tidal wave, the rumbles felt before the scene. Parents pulling into the parking lot. Too many vans disgorging kindergartners. And suddenly... That's a good drawing. An explosion of small humans rushes the doors, bursting into the arcade before scattering every which way. Even before any of them could get tokens, they're grabbing at joysticks, smashing buttons, eager to get their game on, or even just pretend to be playing. The crew assumes battle stations. Naomi by the fragile pinball machines, Ashley near the door, trying to distract the incoming kids to greet them. Gavin, armed with pre-stacked $10 rolls of tokens, quickly exchanges them with adults, beats waiting in line at the change machines. As for pro gamers, well, Queen Bee and Tio's friends bolt for the exit, abandoning them, keen on getting out ahead of the surge of kiddies, I guess. That's all very well and good, but I've got no idea where I'm supposed to be. Roaming duty, Gavin said. Look for trouble, Gavin said. I mean, I was doing that before, but now the chaos is multiplied. For a few minutes, I'm like a pinball being bounced around, or like a frog trying to cross a highway of traffic. Eventually, I spot 3 possible problems on the rise, and Mariah, professional floor attendant, is ready to attend to them. Which one of these should I tackle first, though? I may not be able to deal with all of them in time. 2 kids fighting over a box of cupcakes near Naomi and Ashley. An angry adult shouting at a kid near Teo and Queen Bee. A little girl crying over her stolen tickets. I weave my way through waves of children towards the skee ball machines. One little girl sitting at the end of the skee ball ramp crying, no parent in sight to settle her, so the task falls to me. I'm guessing I would be more cautious about this sort of thing, what with lawsuit happy parents looking over by the vending machines, ignoring their kids, but floor attendant Mariah decided to take the case all the same. Hey, my name's Mariah and I work here at the arcade. What's wrong? Can I help? Her sobbing pauses as she looks up at me.
I lost my tickets. Someone stole them from me. I played and played and won a bunch of them, but then I put them down and I was talking to a friend, and now they're gone.
I glance around, but in a sea of kids, it's impossible to tell who the
I
thief
don't
could be.
even have any more tokens to play with. I spent them all on skee ball and my tickets are all gone now.
Easy, easy, we'll figure this out somehow. Although I've got no clue where to even start, to be honest. Maybe there was a witness to the crime. Percy would have had a good view of the redemption game area based on where Moopy's positioned. Gavin has the ticket desk, a veritable crow's nest for the whole arcade. He could have spotted something, or I could just bend the rules and solve this directly. Okay, don't worry, I'll get your tickets back one way or another. Sniff, really, Miss Monroe? Wait right here. I'll be back in a jiff. I walk up to Percy, tapping him on the shoulder to get his attention. Sorry to interrupt, but that girl in pink over there, someone stole her tickets. I was hoping you saw something. Oh, He frowns a little, looking slightly embarrassed. Sorry, love, I've been pretty deep into this run. Wasn't exactly paying attention. Poor girl, ruffian absconded with her tickets, you say? Well, yeah, I can't exactly expect you to babysit. I'll just go check with Gavin. Now, no need for that. This obstacle can be removed rather steadily, or rather readily, and perhaps be an object lesson as well. He steps away, letting his extra lives croak one by one. Something more important has clearly captured his attention.
Hello.
My name's Percy. You say you need tickets. Yeah, I wanted to get the colored crayons. 50 tickets if I recall. Tall order, but certainly achievable. Here, let me show you the best way to reach your goal. He leads our little group of shortways over to a game of colorful spinning lights. Skee ball. Even when played well, has an expected value of 4 tickets per token. But this game has an EV of 8, 10 if you're sharp enough. He demonstrates dropping in a token. The lights start swirling around and around until he snaps out and pushes a single control button with perfect timing, capturing the light right between 2 pink goalposts. 12 tickets come streaming out of the slot, the maximum possible per token. Simple, yes? Here, I can spot you some tokens. To get started, he produces a short stack of brassy tokens from the ample supply in his pockets. But the girl just sort of stares at the game, confused. But this game's really boring. Boring? It's got colorful lights, see? And it pays very well. But it's boring. I like rolling the skee balls into the holes. You want those crayons, yes? And this is the most efficient way to get them. The girl sighs disappointed, but she's not crying anymore. The distraction was enough to crack her out of the feedback loop of despair, I guess. She hands the tokens back, the stack clinking lightly into Percy's open hand.
Thank you.
Thank you, mister, but I got other crayons at home. I guess I'll just use those. Not exactly cheered up, but not exactly weeping, she mixes back into the crowd to find her friends and play with them instead. Huh. Well, my apologies, Mariah. Seems to have let you both down. Although I must confess to be rather puzzled by this. If you have a clear and distinct goal, what's so bad about accomplishing it by the most direct means? She's 5. I think she cares more about fun than expected value. I'll admit my experience with children is unorthodox. I suppose it best to admit my failure in this moment and move on. I'd let it ride, but curiosity takes me. Ooh, trying to beat your best. Trying to perfect your shots. Having fun earning tickets. I suppose that's a valid point. If the goal is to have fun and the crayons are an extra bonus rather than the other way around, yes, I can see that. And I certainly can understand competing against one's own skills, constantly improving and honing them. Well, it's been an experience to say the least, but others need your help today, Mariah, and this old man's got a game to conquer.
Much obliged.
But thank you for trying to help that girl, and thanks for allowing me to try to help, even if we both struck out. Shows character. Percy returns to his game, having lost most of his extra lives, but doesn't seem to mind the setback. If anything, he smiles more. He's smiling more than he was a minute ago. Right, that's sorted out. But the other two situations are about to spin out of control. I've only got time to deal with one of them. Which one? An angry adult shouting at a kid. I mean, two kids fighting over a box of cupcakes don't care. An angry adult shouting at a kid, that's not good. The sounds of hardship call to me from the Fast Cars 5 racing games. Shouting adults and crying children are never particularly good signs, and I hope beyond hope that I can take this on. I shake the discomfort off. Now's not the time to doubt myself. I need to find out what's going on in stat. As I get closer to the revving engines and clacking of shifting gears, I see a grown woman berate a cowering boy.
I didn't.
Admit it, I know what you did, you brat. You manipulated my precious son to put his tokens in your game. You should be ashamed of yourself. Children like you are the absolute worst. Garbage. Ma'am, keep your voice down. There's no need to shout at a child, no less. What's going on here? Sobbing boy. This jerk of a boy told my sweetest, beyond sweet Josh that he should put in his own tokens into the racing machine so he could play it for free. Josh earned those tokens from his own allowance, and I won't let some devil child steal his money. Let's just take a moment and calm down, okay? Before I say anything else, I spot Queen Bee and Tio out of the corner of my eye, and Queen Bee looks infuriated, and Tio has buried his face in his hand. Actually, now that I stop to think about it, they might have some insight. The racing games are right next to Shadow Time stage. Tio probably had a good vantage point of the whole thing if he was dancing on stage. And just by the way Queen Bee's brows are furrowed, I can tell something is not sitting right with her. I could ask one of them for help, or I could try and solve this moment myself. Consult Queen Bee. Since Queen Bee has been consumed by rage, I bet she knows what's really going on here.
What the
Oh, wow. Nope, not helping. This is, in fact, the furthest away from helping I could ever envision. The kid runs away to avoid the loud people as I try my best to defuse the situation. That boy did nothing wrong. Nothing. Excuse me? Actually, how dare you? There is no way I'm getting a word in between these two. And actually, you know what? I sigh and resign myself to watch it play out. How dare I? How fucking dare you for yelling at that kid? I don't care if he did what you claim or not. You've got no right to traumatize him over it. He's a thief and I'm liking how this is playing out. He's a thief and he'll grow up to be a no-good criminal. That still doesn't fucking matter. Do you honestly think, take a single fucking second of your life and really think that shouting at a kid is an effective way to handle this? You can't tell me how I should act. Who do you think you are? I am the nemesis of evildoers, righter of wrongs. The rising star of L7 Gaming. Queen Bee poses in her trademark
No one can defeat me, Queen Bee.
And only Queen Bee. And in the name of Funkplex, I'll punish you. Well, I'll have never, in all my years, you're far worse than that impudent child. Josh, we are leaving this horrible arcade right now. Well, that's one way to handle that. The woman scoops up her child and storms out the front door. I don't think we'll see her and her son anymore, and frankly, I'm okay with that. Once they're gone, Queen Bee turns her attention back to me. People like that really piss me off. My blood's still boiling. Oh, and hey, thanks for the backup. You're welcome? I really didn't do much of anything. Yeah, well, I knew you had my back, kid. I can sense that you're like me. I can't stand to see people get screamed at. It sucks, you know? Queen Bee's whole aura changed from the normal upbeat snark to being completely down in the dumps. This is a side of her I haven't seen yet. She just looks so sad. You know, it's really none of my business, but I feel I should ask about this. Looks like the incident hit her hard. Hey, everything alright? It's okay, you can tell me. She pauses for a second before her normal smile creeps back on her lips. Seriously, I'll be fine. I just don't like seeing adults treat kids like their future's nothing, like they'll be worthless stains on society. I had a lot of people tell me I can never be a professional gamer, that I should quit daydreaming, and I say, fuck those people. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. But
Thanks.
hey, thanks for asking. Appreciate it, kid. Okay, show's over. You should go check on that boy. The boy! I totally forgot, you're right. I always am. Now, if you excuse me, I need to try to squeeze in a few more matches before quitting
Later.
time. I'm out, kid. Queen Bee takes one more moment to triangulate the safest path back to Fisted Discomfort through a sea of children. About that, you're going to be okay? I think so. I swear I didn't do anything. The other kid, he just came up out of nowhere and dropped his token in my slot. After I lost, I got off the game and offered it to him. He just ran away. And then that woman approached you and started yelling. The boy nods, wiping his snotty nose on his shirt. Uh-huh. Well, if it's any consolation, the bad lady is gone, and I don't think she is going to ever come back. Especially after the way Queen Bee burned her. The boy, cheeks still stained with tears, lets a smile spread on his face. And tell the other lady for sticking up for me, too. I nod, and the boy scurries off and rejoins some of the other friends. I had a feeling, yep. Those two I shot ahead with. Alright. Two problems in the can. Now to deal with the cupcake problem. Uh-oh. Too late. The vintage Midway cabinet Naomi just finished fixing up. It's covered in icing. Looks like Ashley's costume is going to need dry cleaning too. I did not think about that. I shoot them a helpless look and a shrug. Hey, Monria. Kinda wish it was pink icing, then nobody would notice. Yeah, sorry about that. I wasn't quick enough. You still helped out. I saw you with those other kids. You're a natural. I think things are winding down anyway. Why not take a break and then I'll swap off with you and take a break at myself afterwards? Yeah, okay, sounds good. Honestly, I'm kind of worn out. Ashley's right. I need to step away from this craziness, if only for a few minutes. After a silent nod from Gavin to confirm it's cool with him, I slip away, headed for the employee lounge. Yeah, I didn't think about the cupcakes going everywhere. What a day. Quirky coworkers, die-hard pro gamers, volatile kids getting into volatile situations. I'd say it's a recipe for wackiness or some such cliche, but nothing's an easily dismissed cliche when it's happening to you directly. Frankly, I'm exhausted. I dropped down into one of the cheap folding metal chairs in the employee break room, groaning and rolling my head back to try and work the kinks out of my sore shoulders and spot an upside down kid. Huh? Oh, wait. I'm the one leaning backwards. I sit up and turn around instead. Better. Wait, what's a kid doing back here? Hey, I think he was hoping I wouldn't notice him. Hi. Hi, and you are? Mikey? I keep my nose around. So, what are you doing back here? This is an employee-only area. Wait, there's a keypad. How'd you get in? The guy at the desk dropped this. He holds out a piece of paper with the door code written on it. Huh, score one for Ashley's wild storytelling being more fact than fiction. Okay, but you can't stay back here. Well, I don't see any knives or stabbing implements left out in the open, so I guess it's technically safe, but...
Please don't send me back out there.
Well, this is curious. I lean in so we can be on the same eye level. Something wrong? You can tell me. I work here. I'm the gal who solves problems.
No problems, just don't want to go out there.
Introvert. Don't you want to play with your friends? And he gives me the most cynical, bitter laugh I've ever heard out of a
I
kindergartner.
don't got any friends. I don't know anybody here. My family just moved to the city. And before that, we lived in another city. And one more for that, but I was too little to remember. Mom told me to come to the party anyway, and I didn't want to, but she took me anyway. And then she left because she's got to work.
New kid in town, huh? Still, I should have busted him then and there, brought him back out to the party where the other parents could supervise him. I should have told Gavin. Should have enforced the rules of the arcade. Okay, kid, I won't tell on you. If you want to stay here for the rest of the party, I'll keep you company. Thanks. You really won't tell my mom? Nope. Why? I thought you'd want to make me go. You're an adult like Mom. Hey, I wasn't always an adult. I was a kid once. The new kid in town, in fact. You were the new kid? Yeah, although for me, that started happening back when I was 10. Again and again, moving from town to town, school to school, never really making any friends, not for years. Mom and Dad kept losing jobs and taking new ones, worse ones. They'd be working all day long, too tired when they came home to do much of anything. After years and years of this, I stopped hoping things would get better. I decided I'd just take what I could get. I'd go with the flow. What does that mean? It means you don't care. Some things are good, some things are bad, but you don't care. You just do what you have to without really being sad
But
over
that
it.
sounds so sad. You weren't sad? It's sad to never care about anything, right?
I guess I was sad. I just told myself I wasn't going to be sad, even though I really was. And then I bit my tongue hard. Because my little involuntary trip down memory lane was not helping this kid out. Wouldn't have helped little Monria out if an adult did this for me. So instead, I decided to be the adult that little Monria would have needed. And I need to get back to my Chromebook. Because it controls my pet. Restore. Your mommy loves you. That's why she works hard. You know, your mommy loves you. She loves you very, very much. When I was a kid, I was mad at my parents for moving all the time, taking different jobs. It made things very hard for me. But now that I'm older, I know they were working hard because they loved me. They wanted the best for me, and were doing their best to get it. Life can be hard. Sometimes it's just no fun. But there's one thing that always matters: their love. They love you. He shoots me a doubting look, one of those little doubting looks where they don't want to outright call something a lie, but can't quite swallow it. Mikey, if your mom was sad, what would you do to make her happy? I mean, if you had to go to school an extra 2 hours a day, would you do it? I guess that's what she's doing. She's working very hard because she wants to make you happy. I'm not happy being alone or moving all the time. Neither is she, but she knows if she works hard, one day you won't be alone. You won't be moving all the time. I was the new kid, remember? But now I have a home with my best friend and a good job. I work in an arcade. How cool is that? It wasn't easy, and my parents were often sad. I was often sad, but we pulled through, and so will you. Just remember, she loves you, and you love her. That'll get you through the sad times. Huh. It's not a great answer. It doesn't solve the problem, but it does make things a little easier for Mikey. From his long sigh, I can feel him releasing his sadness before offering a little smile. Not a big goofy grin, not the high of happiness, just simple understanding. I love Mommy. It's sad a lot, but I know it's not always sad, and even if she left me here, I know she's coming back. Hey, you know what? You still got some time to enjoy the party. Even if you don't want to talk to the kids, there's a lot of games you can play. And hey, maybe you'll get to know someone while playing a game. Arcades are great for that. I'm sure a lot of them have sad times too, and they could use someone to play with. Someone who understands. Aww. I want to play the skee-ball games. I'll spot you a few tokens. Let's get you rolling. I take his hand to lead him back out to the main room. And off he goes. I'm not fooling myself. I know I haven't fixed all Mikey's problems. I'm no child psychiatrist. That was entirely me flying out of the seat of my pants. But for one moment here, I was able to help someone in the same crappy situation I found myself long ago. 15 years ago. Everything changed. No more family vacations, no more arcade visits. We couldn't afford them, and they couldn't take time off work. The whole Titans family had to learn to settle. To accept the lot in life we'd been dealt. To simply go with the flow, never hoping, never wanting. Juniper did her best to pull me out of that mire. I'd only known her for a few years, one of the few stable times in my life. But she knew the edge I'd been pushed to. Now, here I am. Today has been, well, bonkers. Alternatively boring and hectic, surreal, the same way to real. The same way to real. But I can honestly say I'm more alive today than I have been in a very long time. Beep beep. Beep beep, Monria. My emotional voice analysis subroutines combined with your body language suggest you're very happy right now. Yeah, I guess I am. How did you know? I just told you, silly. I mean, how did you know I love this job so much?
I know.
Oh, that's easy. I didn't. What? I lied. I was 47% sure. Oh, it was elements that seemed to click with your It has elements that seem to click with your optimal social requirements, a fun atmosphere, spirited coworkers, helping people out, and so on. Also, I cross-reference your roommate's postings talking about how much you enjoyed arcade visits when you were a kid. Still, 47%.
99.97%.
But I was 99.97% sure that if I said I was 99.97% sure, you'd be willing to give it a try. Another thing to thank Juniper for, I guess. You're a very weird little app,
Hooray!
you know. From the cars pulling up in the parking lot, it looks like the party's over. It's just about closing time for the arcade anyway. Most of the gamers have filed out by now, if they hadn't already fled the tidal wave of kitties. My first impulse is to go bug Gavin about my paperwork, but that can wait. I'd rather go help someone with the tidying up, or maybe see how our VIP gamers are doing. Not enough time to run around checking in with everyone though. Who do I want to hang out with? Oh, Naomi's about to cry. Yeah, Naomi definitely looks like she could use a hand. Someone's jammed bright pink bubblegum into a coin slot and she's trying to clear the sticky mess out. How could they? How could they do this to the poor, innocent little Cubert? Hey, need a hand? Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, work on the second player slot for me. I've got swabs and stuff in my kit there. Grab what you need.
So frustrating.
Honestly, the nerve of those kids to no respect at all for these games. Games aren't like chew-proof, machine-washable baby toys. They're delicate and deserve love and care. But they are toys, right? Well, yeah, I mean, of course, just, they're also works of art. I know not everybody sees it that way. Back in the 80s, operators would just throw away games that didn't perform well anymore. In the end, an arcade has to make money. That means using and abusing a game until it's time to put it out of to pasture. But I don't have to like it, right? Of course not. You love these games. You shouldn't just let them be abused, even if they do have to make money. Next time you see some kids smacking a game around, stuffing on the slot or whatever, you let me know. I'll deal with them. Aw. Thanks, Monria. It's good to know someone's got my back. Still, I need to be realistic, right? I know it is Nemia. I know this isn't a museum, and we aren't preserving priceless treasures for generations to come. Sometimes I treat it like my little private collection, but really, I do want people to play and enjoy these games. And that does wear them down in time. As long as I'm here, I'll pick up a game when it wobbles on its feet, dust it off, straighten it up, and send it out there to be played with all over again. With the last of the gum pulled out of the slot, Naomi closes up her toolbox. I should probably pull the coin mechs entirely and give them a good cleaning tomorrow, but I didn't want to let the gum sit overnight. I'm heading home soon. I'll see you tomorrow, right? You got it, Naomi.
Woohoo!
Great. And she gives me a hug before bounding off to her workshop. With things winding down, there's just one last thing to take care of before I'm out the door. I seek out Gavin to handle the remains of the day. Monria, good work today. Thanks, boss. Mid-boss? Sub-boss? Gavin will do. Huh. I can't say you've been a perfect employee, but my standards are impossibly high, so I'll just assume you are as close to perfect as is reasonable. I'm not entirely... Yeah. I'm not entirely sure why you consulted Percy regarding those tickets. He's not on staff, but I suppose that's a minor issue. Normally I'd have dealt with angry parents myself, but I was distracted. I've only secondhand accounts of your performance there, but allowing Queen Bee to yell at a customer is questionable at best. She's volatile. I'd rather you have handled that one on your own. All told, I'm pleased to say the sale of Mr. Moopy's Magic Maze for a full $3,000 will indirectly offset quite a few of these costs. I'm glad you consulted me on that and stuck to your guns on the pricing, even if I'd be happy to be rid of that relic entirely. Why it's still here is a good question. Was it not clear I wanted it gone? Percy didn't want to break up the family. They're machines, not people. He also didn't want to make Naomi be sad. Yes, well, Naomi needs to learn to let go, I'd say. Ahem! Are you giving our poor little Monria a hard time, Gavin, dear? Miss Francine, I thought you were napping.
Be sensible.
Naomi's dream matters too, as does the dream of Percy, that poor fellow. Poor? Isn't Percy stinking rich?
Everyone has a dream they're chasing.
Gavin, I know you mean well, wanting to keep everyone's dreams afloat, but sacrifices made in that name what shatter the dreams of others, well, that's not what the Funplex is all about. Monria, you understand, yes? The reason why? Why am I here? That's the question she asked me during that interview. Now I think I understand. I didn't really know why I was here when I walked in those doors. Maybe I still don't, but this is the kind of place where you can learn who and what you are and why you're here. Naomi's here to care for the chair's games. Percy's chasing his dream of a high score, and I'm here because I'm tired of compromising. I'm tired of settling for whatever I can get. I want something more out of life. You know, we're better than that, Gavin. We don't settle. We stake our why, and won't settle for anything less. I see.
Apologies.
It's difficult to balance my idealism against my realism some days, but I know in my heart I need to err on the side of idealism, even if my mind screams in protest. I can assume you are still keen to work here, Monria? I don't even hesitate before replying. Absolutely. Gavin fetches a nearby short stack of forms. Fill these out tonight, hand them in to me first thing in the morning. And welcome to the Funplex. Welcome to the family, I'd say. I'm sure you'll fit in just fine, Monria. One bus ride later, and I'm home again, jiggity jig. Juniper, already home from work, bounds over eagerly to interrogate me on my day. So, how'd it go? It went well. Well? Really well. Your little app came through, despite being terrifyingly omniscient and just a little bit unnerving. You forgot to mention adorable. That's wonderful. I'm so happy to hear things worked out. And you even came home with a smile, like when you were a lifeguard. Huh? I guess I am smiling. Interesting.
By the way, there's just one teensy-weensy little question I have for you. Why exactly did you order a giant crate full of pizza bagels?
Did I neglect to mention that part of the terms and conditions? On the plus side, I know what I'm having for lunch tomorrow. This is a cute game. And that's level 1 of Arcade Spirits complete. Hey, look. Oh, you also won a prize. You'll get one of these for each level you clear, plus some extras for various endings and other hidden thingies. Now, let's check your score. Looks like you're really hitting it off with Naomi. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. Also, you scored 6,150 points. Nice. Keep talking with people and your score will go up, up, up. Today's pizza fact is Americans eat approximately 100 acres of pizza each day. Or 350 slices per second. If that's true, that's ridiculous. Do you want to save your game before proceeding to level 2? I just did. But I'll do it again. Because that's a gamer thing. Oh. Okay. Whatever. Chasing ghosts. It is the future. Year 20XX. You know what? Things are pretty okay. I've worked as a floor attendant at the Funplex for 2 weeks now. Hard work to be sure, but rewarding. In a spiritual sense, at least. I've helped Naomi repair pinball games. I've had tea with Francine while she reminisced about the far out 1990 beeps. I've evacuated gamers when the kitchen accidentally caught on fire. I've had numerous kids puke up nachos on my clothes. I've scraped gum off any number of surfaces. I've chased what turned out to be entirely too many spiders out of a single skee-ball machine. Okay, look, I know I'm not painting this as a very rosy picture so far, but honestly, I'm happy. I'm happy even amidst the chaos and the grossness. I'm happy, and that's all that matters, right? Right, you're happy. This is the best I've seen you in ages, Monria. Before you'd come home all drained and exhausted. Now, well, you're still tired, but a good tired. My roommate Juniper, she'd taken to stopping by during her lunch break, whenever she could get away from her office cubicle long enough to do so. It's still hard work, don't get me wrong, but overall, it's good work. I just feel good. Totally good and stuff.
Yes.
Good. Agreed, super good. Double plus good. Iris, we talked about you listening in on my conversations. Would I tell you about that? To pretend I wasn't eavesdropping even when I am? Exactly. You know, I'd be more upset about my creepy privacy invading digital overmistress, but I have to admit that Iris really pulled through for me. Even if she also ordered a 3-month supply of pizza bagels on my behalf.
You have pizza on a bagel.
But when pizza's on a bagel, so Juniper, how long do you have left on your break? Any time to squeeze in some pinball or something? I can spot you tookens. No can do. Our assistant synergy manager arranged a team building exercise. I have to, move colored bits of paper around or something and then exchange high fives. Assistant synergy manager? That sounds like a very vague job. Nah, it's actually entry level, good pay, and right on track to middle management. Pretty cushy if a bit dull. The funny thing is that they asked me if I knew anybody who'd fit in before they started advertising for candidates, and I said, nope. Who'd want to do that? When was this exactly? Oh, 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks ago, right when I needed to find work, you told them you didn't know any good candidates for a well-paying entry-level job.
Oh, well, but
You
wouldn't have liked being an assistant synergy manager, right? Not one bit.
Juniper, please tell me you told them no because I'd already taken this job by that point, not because you forgot.
I didn't forget. I just, didn't bother telling you about the open position that night. I mean, you'd already had so many jobs you hated. I knew you'd hate being an assistant synergy manager, so I didn't feel the need to tell you. And it all worked out, right? You just spent the last 5 minutes telling me how happy you are here.
Not a lie. I was happy here indeed. Also not a lie, having packed pizza bagels for lunch. After having 5 pizza bagels for breakfast, because we barely had enough money to cover the rent this week, pulled together. Also not a lie, Gavin constantly hiding the numbers from us, insisting things are fine, all while dryly joking about perpetually being on the edge of crash and burn. Also not a lie, that every time someone in my family tried to chase after happiness instead of stability, we fell deeper and deeper into debt and misery. Monria, say something, you're scaring me. Well, I lost my lifeguard job. I barely reacted. Didn't care that I was impoverished again, facing an uncertain future. I guess one of the nasty side effects of no longer going with the flow is no longer being numb to the reality of your situation. But I shouldn't feel upset. I've been genuinely, I've been genuinely enjoying my time at the Funplex. I don't need some grand reason why when I feel this good deep down inside. I have no right to be angry or upset at losing an opportunity at a safer, more stable future, right? I'm okay. I'm where I want to be. Right, done with settling, going with the flow. I'm going to be the one to break the family curse. I chose this path of my own free will, even if I didn't have all the facts at the time. But if I'm going to be honest, boundless confidence doesn't cover the simple fact that I chose to be vulnerable rather than safe. If the arcade closes, if anything else goes wrong, still, no need to dump all that on Juniper. It's okay, Juniper. You were right. I'd have hated that job. And things are great here.
Good. You were kind of freaking me out. Trust me, it's the right decision. You'd learn to loathe working at my office, like I do. I mean, sure, the pay is good, and you get solid health insurance and paid vacation time, and they have a sweet coffee shop right in the lobby. And these really great chairs that support your lower back, like $1,000 chairs from Sweden crafted by master chairsmiths.
Juniper, I said it's fine. Everything is fine. Honestly, I'm okay. I mean, I won't deny that job would have been a safer bet. I want to contribute my fair share to the apartment rent, you know? But what's done is done. I'd rather look forward than backward.
Right. Forget I said anything. Please forget I said anything. I'm sorry. I should have told you. I shouldn't have held that back. But I still wouldn't have pushed you to take the job. It's totally horrible at my office. You'd have been miserable there, like me.
Juniper, it's cool. You're right. I'd have hated it. Okay, good. I've got a good feeling about all this. I think you're right where you need to be, even if it was kind of awful about getting you here. Hey, I gotta get back to the office. Have a good lunch, okay? I can feel the distant rumble of a frozen box of pizza bagels taunting me from the recently repaired employee break room. Yeah, okay. And you have a good rest of the hours of your day. Yeah, you bet. I'm okay with this. Everything's fine. Right? Right. What I need right now is a distraction, and frozen pizza bagels are certainly not it. My pocket money is really slim, but I think I need to step out for some fresh air and treat myself to a better lunch than that. And hey, maybe some company too. Nice and distracting, talking to someone about anything other than this. Let's see who's available. uh, no, I can't use Q while I'm in here. It's awfully quiet near the Fist of Discomfort cabinet. I'm feeling rather alarmed here. This is normally peak time for Queen Bee to be streaming matches. What's she up to now? As I get closer, I see her behind the game, fiddling with one of her webcams, clearly soaked in frustration. Everything okay, Queen Bee? No, everything is not fucking okay. She grumbles to herself and continues to meddle with the wires. Can I help with anything? I don't know. Can you figure out why my newly updated device driver suddenly stops talking to the webcam it supposedly just improved? But it was flaking out on me before I bit the bullet and upgraded, so maybe it's hardware? A dead wire? This is such a court hell right now. Oh, sorry. Silicon literate? Sure, but not exactly a techno mage. As a kid, unfortunately, I don't have the time or the effort to deal with this shit right now. My main webcam isn't working. I don't think I'll be working. I don't think I'll be working for the rest of the day. I can ask Naomi to take a peek at it later. She's the one who helped me rig this up in the first place, right? Or helped you rig this up in the first place, right? Can't wait that long. I've got matches to stream. I need it working now. Well, how about you take your mind off it for a while then? I'm about to go grab my lunch break. Care to join me? Queen Bee's whole demeanor relaxes a bit when I mention mealtime. She sighs heavily. Fine, you're probably right, kid. Maybe not staring at wires for a bit will help clear my head. Maybe even help me sort the mess out myself afterwards. I want to go to Whole Story. Get me some sugar. Want to go to Whole Story with me? The bookstore? Do they have food there? Do they have food? You are too funny, kid. Of course they have fucking food. Best coffee and donuts in the world. And I'm fucking famished. Let's go already. I'm loving this woman. Before I can even lament about eating my pizza bagels I brought, Queen Bee is dragging me out of the arcade. I sigh reluctantly and give in. It's probably for the best anyway. After what I dealt with this morning, I deserve to give myself a little treat. And I probably won't even admit to myself when I'm totally getting sick of those pizza bagels. I like pizza bagels. Despite coming to this little strip mall for 2 weeks, I hadn't actually visited our neighbors. Mostly I did whatever needed doing, took orders from Gavin, lent a hand to Ashley and Naomi, things like that. Whatever the job happened to call for, no more, no less. I couldn't say I'd been a part of my community outside the immediate circle of my coworkers, whereas the others visited Whole Story frequently. Queen Bee leads the way into a shop that smells strangely of dusty old books and sugary sweetness. I don't think I'd ever been in a little independent bookstore. Haha! Or a bookstore at all, for that matter. It's 20XX. Who buys books in brick and mortar stores anymore? But despite the subdued atmosphere compared to the arcade, there are customers present and accounted for, sipping coffee, reading old tomes, and yes, munching donuts. Queen Bee secures a tiny table for us before directing me to the bar. Hang on, what the heck is up with the menu? It's organized by the Dewey Decimal System? Yeah, I'll take the Frank Herbert I'm paying. Just got my stipend from L7 Gaming yesterday and feel like celebrating. I mumble out of thanks, trying not to make a big deal out of it. Cash is tight, and boutique cafe pastries wouldn't help my situation much. A pair of middle-aged guys wait to take my order. Hey, I'd like one super sweet glazed chocolate sprinkle special with orange juice. You know what? Surprise me. What's your favorite donut? Huh?
One chocolate with sprinkles and juice. Coming up.
The second fellow puts together my order and also drops a small book of extremely silly poetry on the tray with it. Huh, a literary lunch, literary lunch. Say that 5 times fast. A literary lunch.
With alliteration, apparently.
Say, you work at the Funplex, don't you?
Right, we've seen you walk past our doors every morning and evening.
Like clockwork, tick-tock.
Right, sorry, I should have introduced myself. Floor attendant MonriaTitans at your service. I'm your inside gal for tokens and tickets.
Oh, we're lousy at video games.
Totally lousy.
But Francine's just a peach, isn't she?
Sweetest dame you'll ever meet.
Regardless, welcome to The Whole Story. I'm Ben.
I'm Matt.
No relation to the actors.
Although they're cuties, and so are we.
Oh, stop.
Stop being cute? Never.
Apparently sugar is available in forms other than round and holy.
Anyway, don't let us stop you from having fun on your little date.
Wouldn't dream of it.
We're just friends. I'm not the dating type.
Friendship and bonding it is then.
Maybe the real date was the friends we made along the way.
I'd say the real friends were the friends we made along the way.
What if the way was also the real friends who were the real friends we made along the way?
Okay, now you're just being silly.
And how?
Anyway, next order, please.
The pair waves the next customer in as I return to Queen Bee's table with our orders on a nicely decorated wooden tray. Alright, Queen Bee is stuffing donuts down her gullet. I think she might be angry eating, but I'm not sure. Actually, I think this is the first time I've actually seen her eating anything. Normally she's way too focused on matches to take a snack break. That's unhealthy. That is why we take breaks on the stream. So, Queen Bee, she holds up a finger to silence me. Finishes chewing and swallows. Ah, I feel so much better now. Hangry much? You know it. Sometimes I get so focused about everything I forget to eat. Eating is important. You should do it more regularly. 9 out of 10 living people say they prefer to starving to death. Yeah. Hey, what are you eating? Can I have some? She pokes at my choice in arguable nutrition. Hey, wait a sec. Queen Bee still has a pastry left on her plate too. All's fair in love and poking food wars. I leaned over the table and began prodding her meal. Hey, don't touch my biscuit. Now it's got all your germs on it. Ew. Can't take the heat. Don't start the fire. Point taken. Queen Bee rolls her eyes and sticks out her tongue jokingly. Whatever. You win this round, kid. But next time, that donut will be mine. Besides, you sound like you need that more than me. Sugary treats are a good de-stressor. Temporarily. You haven't been acting like your normal company-drone self around the arcade floor today. Guessing the stress is mounting? What? You're not stressed at all, huh? Well... Yeah, okay, I'll admit it. Things have been stressful with streaming lately. Oh, how so? Because with esports streaming, everything has to be perfect all the goddamn time. It's not like you, where if you miss a stray gum wrapper or the plexiglass isn't polished to a shine, Gavin will let it slide. Clearly you haven't worked for Gavin. Okay, Francine will let it slide. Look, I'm not a metaphor person.
My point is, when you're a public figure, an esports competitor, a streamer, an internet sensation, you gotta hustle. 100% hustle. 110% hustle. You only see folks like me in tail from backstage. You aren't watching from the audience. Different situation entirely there. There's no room for error. If one thing is wrong, I'll get punished for it, one way or another. If not by the chat, which constantly seeks my blood and salty tears, then by my own team. They're always evaluating my performance.
Does this sound familiar to anybody?
Things go badly enough, my viewer count goes down, and I could lose my sponsorship. Then everything.
Damn. Damn indeed. You see what I mean? Queen Bee is really letting the stress get to her. I should find a way to pump her spirits. Okay, so it's brutal. Sounds like life has been brutal in general lately. But there is one thing you told me long ago that I'm going to quote back to you. When the world shits on you, you take a shit on the world. There we go. Haha, that's my favorite catchphrase. Well done, kid. You're right. I'm not going to let anything stand in my way. That's what I like to hear. But really, Queen Bee, that all makes sense. But if you take time for yourself, you have to take time for yourself and relax. Easier said than done. I know streamers who take a week off, go on vacation or something, and their subs drop off the face of the earth. But I also know burnout's a serious thing. I do need to take breaks. And if I'm gonna relax, you should follow that same advice, kid. Huh? I saw your little interaction with your roomie this morning. Don't worry, I wasn't eavesdropping. I merely noted that you didn't look right after that. So you remember to take time and relax, reflect, get your shit together. While I'm on the topic of you, I'm thinking you should also find a hobby. What? Why? I see you working that floor every day. You just go through the motions and you look so bored all the time. I think if you had something else going on, you'd be much happier. Thanks?
Nope, no way.
Hey, I'm not trying to be harsh. Trust me, I used to be like you long ago, but I found my fucking passion. And now look at me. Rising star of L7. I know you got something worth fighting for inside you too. Use it. Well, this has gotten a little awkward and a little too right on point for me to feel comfortable.
Beep, beep.
True. Beep beep, lunchtime is over. And Iris with the best distraction. Time to go back to the arcade. I'll see you there, Queen Bee. She waves me off. I still have this last donut to finish. I'll be back at the Funplex before you know it. She stuffs her face once more, and I gather my stuff and head back to the Funplex. I probably should have saved there, because it's time to end. Well, close. Alright. Save. There we go. And as I mentioned, and I just saved. We'll be fine. There we go. And that is... I'm loving this game. I can't remember the last time I laughed so much. Oh, this was great. Alright, so... here we are at closing. And I loved how that ended sort of in a bookshop. And I had to fight to keep myself from plugging the fact the weekend game show is affiliated with bookshop.org. Then I was good. I held on. I saved it for the actual end. So here I am mentioning it out now. Command Bookshop to get to the link. With the weekend game show, also, it's supposed to be about education, but I was too busy having fun with the game and laughing, which is an educational moment in itself. I couldn't focus on the mechanics. I was too busy laughing at the story. That's a good thing. So there's my feedback on that. I was laughing my ass off quite a few times. It was great. The writing is great. The characters are great. I'm loving Queen Bee. I might have switched my date. I might be dating her. We'll see. Either her or Naomi. But yeah. So, here's the end. There are all the links and things. Command tip Pearl to give me a tip. Command socials to get the socials. Command support for other ways to support. Command affiliate for why I'm not shooting for affiliate anymore. Hashtag sub off Twitch. So we have a Discord. This video will be uploaded into or exported to YouTube. I tried to get these to match. I really could, but Be Empowering was taken on Instagram and Become Empowered was taken on Twitter. So those are the things. Also, I have my own art links. Anytime I do any kind of art on stream, or I do any art in general, it goes there. For the ones that I do on stream, I will eventually have all the logos I did on Instagram. That is the plan. And I've also... I should probably put Command merch on there as well, because I have merch now. So I created it on Streamlabs, and then with all the heat Streamlabs is getting, I figured I should probably make a Redbubble. Give people choices if they want to hate on Streamlabs and get away from that. Although Streamlabs has shirts, Redbubble doesn't. Who cares? So what's on there? So what's on there right now is the flag I created in the upper left and right corner. So that flag, just to, command flag since I'm talking about it. So I found the bisexual pride flag, I found the cisgender pride flag, and I found the ally flag for those who are cisgender and straight and, allies of the LGBT plus community. But I couldn't find a bisexual cisgender pride flag, so I made them. And also in that command, I put the list of known pride flags, or a link to it. So I just made my own. So the ones I feature here are for, obviously, the cisgender female. Go to the Redbubble, or, unless, go to the Redbubble if you're trying to avoid the Streamlabs, and you'll see the cisgender male version of this flag. That's what's up there right now. I plan on getting the logos I made up there as well. So, but my pride and joy really is the affiliation with Bookshop. So they actually quoted it in the game. Like, who goes to bookshops anymore? Well, I am an avid supporter of bookshops and libraries. We still need them. which is why I'm affiliated with bookshop.org. When you buy through bookshop.org, you are actually helping to raise money for a local small business bookstore. They are helping to keep the bookstores like Whole Story open. That's a really classy and catchy name for a bookstore. That was good. I like it a lot. They sell donuts, hence the whole. I'm making this stupid now. Anyway, command bookshop to get the link. I'm actually contemplating changing it. It's called... I had the link memorized at one point. Right. So bookshop.org/shop/become empowered. I'm teetering back and forth between changing it from Become Empowered to WGS, but the point of the weekend game show is education, and education is empowering. So, teetering back and forth. I don't really know what I want to do with it, but either way, it's a bookshop. Help raise money for local bookstores. Go through my bookshop, or go to my bookshop, but keep using the search bar. And you should see in the upper left, like you do there, the weekend game show. As long as you see that, and you're going to the search bar, you're helping me out. So I get a 10% commission from the books, so 2 birds, 1 stone. You're helping out a small business bookstore, and you're helping out the stream. And actually, it's a win-win-win situation, because you will now have a way to install new information into your brain. And that brings me to the end. So, I am a gamer, not because I don't have a life, but because I choose to have many. A game is a problem-solving activity approached with a playful attitude, and my new favorite, you may not like video games, but what I have learned from them is this: no enemies in front of you means you're going the wrong way. Although the interesting thing about Arcade Spirits is I'm not really seeing any enemies besides yourself and your own way of thinking. So, yeah, this game kind of hit. I will give this one thing. It kind of hit hard in the emotional area, just kind of coasting, going by, trying to play it safe. Fuck you and I love you at the same time. And that's all I really have to say on it for now. I appreciate all the laughs. I was laughing hard. Great game. Can't wait to play this again next week. So, thank you all for watching. May every decision you make in the future be in the spirit of fairness. And may the rest of your day not go to shit. And because I forgot to do it before the closing, here I am going to end it with the artist shout out.